Going to be talking with Shelley Rudnicki a little bit later on. Of course, she got the letter from Ryan Fecto. Oh, no, she got the letter from Ryan Fecto. She responded with a letter that made her point very, very clearly. So we'll talk to her about that and about what's going on. We'll get an update for you on the, what is going on with the police bill that was qualified immunity, that one, which could make a huge difference as to whether or not we have a good number of police policing our streets here in the great state of Maine, from north to south, from east to west. So we'll find out how that's going. We'll get a pretty good update. So good. Thank you, Andrea. Good morning. Good morning to you. And welcome all to the show. As Mike was saying, we have something regarding Gardner High School. The school board, of course, met last night in an emergency meeting. And so I've got some audio from that, and we're going to get to that in a little while this morning. We'll tell you what kind of a conclusion they came to. And I don't know. I don't have any skin in the game now. I had kids in the SAD 11, which is the school system that Gardner High School is in, but I don't have any kids. They ended up graduating from South China. But we're going to hear from Becky Fless. She is the chairperson for the SAD school board, and we'll also hear from Matt Lillibridge. So I've got a couple. I mean, the whole school meeting went almost an hour. It was almost an hour, the emergency meeting. So I'll play a couple of highlights. And I'm waiting for a text back from one of the school board members now, who I had spoken with earlier via text. And I want to make sure I've got it right, the outcome. I'm pretty sure I do. But we'll get to that. We'll talk about that a little bit later on this morning here on Legacy 1160 WSKW. Now, I would say we'll go to our normal today in history, but unfortunately, I didn't have it ready this morning, so I'll try to get it for you. There are actually people that like to hear what happened on this day in history. Today, of course, being the 13th, Thursday the 13th, thankfully, not Friday the 13th. So we'll get to that hopefully coming up a little bit later on this morning. Let's start out this morning with a new video that just came out. I just came across this video on one of my news sites this morning, and it's great. It's very short, and it's great. It speaks to modern feminism. And what it is, a very lovely lady, and she speaks to what modern day feminism is. She's very well spoken. So this is, I think, a pretty good thing to start you out with here. And here she is. I don't know her name. I have no idea what her name is. I just know I love this piece she did. Listen.
I don't think modern day feminists want equality between men and women. I think they want to beat men. They don't take any pride in being feminine. They grow their armpit hair out. They say we need to bring down the patriarchy. But who is the patriarchy? Do you think it's men who set all these standards for women to uphold in the beauty world? You're forgetting that other women set the standards too. As a woman, I think armpit hair on women is disgusting and unhygienic. I'm a woman setting that beauty standard, not a man. I also think a woman should pride herself on being a good mother and taking care of her family in the home. Not to say that you can't have a job at the same time, but no one can do what a mother can do, and you should be proud of that, not want to destroy that. Men and women are not the same, and that's beautiful. I'm proud to be a woman. I don't want to be a man. So on behalf of all women who like being women, can you guys stop trying to make us men?
What? I've always wondered, what is the purpose of that? What is the purpose of are feminists admitting that men, and I'm not saying men are a superior sex, quite the contrary. I think women, there goes my man card. I think women are the superior sex, the superior gender. Actually, you know what? I think the creator did it right. I think he got it right. Yeah, I just think he or she, sorry, again, I can't be sexist here. I think the creator got it right. I think what are the weaknesses in men, women excel at, and vice versa. But so is there really a superior gender? If I had to choose, being just a human being, if I had to choose, I would say women, because women don't start wars generally. Women are more, they shave their armpits. They're more hygienic, typically, where a guy will take a shower once every 3 or 4 days. Some guy, I'm not lying to you. When we were kids, and I'm sure there are people out there listening to me right now who can relate to this. When I was a kid, back in the day, we took baths once a week on a Saturday night, together, 3 of us in a tub, rub-a-dub-dub. And we liked it. And when we get out, the water was, we only took a bath when we were little. Like 4, 3, 2 years old. No, we had the tub to ourselves when we got we weren't creepy or anything like that. But when we got out of the tub, even if it was just one of us, after our weekly bath, that's what Mom and Dad called it, as I recall. They called it a bath. Time to take your bath. God love them. I miss those days. There was a ring around the tub, big, dark one, where the water sat, and the dirt settled. That was just the dirt that was on the sides of the tub. Imagine the water. Of course, we out playing all day. We played at school. We roughhoused at school. You can't roughhouse at school anymore. No, take your hands off him. Don't you hurt him. Don't you push that. Do they even have merry-go-rounds at school anymore? The teachers used to come over. I remember at Hamlin School in Randolph, which is now closed. So my kids went there. I went there. But when I was a kid, they used to have this, it was, a carousel merry-go-round thing, not with horses, one of the playground merry-go-rounds that you push, kids would push, and then they jump on and go. Well, we would get on, but we could get inside, so there was a bar holding us. And some kids would stand on the outside because when a teacher came over to push, you knew it was going to be a hell of a ride. So you wanted to get inside or hang on for dear life. So the teacher would come, big guy, maybe it was the principal, would come over and whip that thing just, and all he had, and I swear, if you were to see it from the sky, you probably wouldn't even be able to see kids. It would just be a myriad of colors. We were going so fast. Kids get off, and they'd get off after the thing stopped in about a half an hour, and they'd be walking around dizzy for the next 40 minutes, puking all over the playground. No, I'm kidding. I don't remember that. But they were now you imagine a teacher doing that now and a kid getting a broken finger or a rock jabbed in his hand or something. Lawsuit. That's why that's one of the problems. I'm not saying, kids ought to go out and they should get hurt. They should learn life. No, not necessarily. They should be allowed to fall and stumble and get hurt and take chances. You know, the teachers used to watch us. We'd watch this, Miss Jones. We'd be swinging on these big swings, you know, the ones with the long chains, and kids would give you underducks. We called them underducks. My kids called them underdogs. They apparently changed the terminology between the time I was in school or the time my kids were in school. It was an underduck. When I was in school, the guy would, or usually the guy would push you and then duck under and just let you go, and you'd get a nice high push on the swing. And they're underdogs, which doesn't make any sense when my kids were little. Now they probably aren't even allowed to do that. But we would get going so high, we'd be almost even with the top bar of the swing set. We'd be going so high, you'd feel in your stomach the G-force. And I remember, you know, we used to have contests seeing who could jump the furthest. You know, we'd get up real high and we'd let go and we'd go flying out toward the school. We were swinging toward the school. If we had done it the other way, we would have jumped over the freaking fence onto the teachers' cars. So we jumped toward the school, and I don't remember getting any broken bones, but I sure did get scratched up. And the teachers would, come on, brush yourself off, get up, come on in. Now it would be, oh my God, we got to get you to the emergency room. Got to get you to the emergency room. You okay? Are you okay? Yeah, I'm okay. Or today's kids would be, no, I think I broke my body. Such a mamby-pamby society. Kids can't be kids anymore. And the smart kids, forget about it. You can't be recognizing winners and losers. Can't do it. You can't do it. Because somebody's going to feel bad. Who's going to feel bad? Well, the kids that lost. Okay. All right. How about when they grow up? How about if you've never taught them how to lose, then all of a sudden as an adult, they think they can just skate along and they're going to be a winner at everything because so far it's worked. You know, I haven't been the best. My playing sucked. I had bad sportsmanship. I was kind of a grump. I couldn't hit for a darn. Couldn't catch a football. But I got an award. Look, I got this trophy. How about that? So this job will be no problem. Well, you know what? When you get out into the workforce, when you get out into the real world, guess what? There are winners and losers. There are the qualifieds and the unqualifieds. And you learn really, really quickly that you don't fit into everything you try or want to do anymore. You aren't automatically accepted anymore. And that's okay. So then you have to find your way. You have to find out what you do best, and you have to do it. My thing was not school. That wasn't my thing, you know, and that's a pretty big thing, but school wasn't my thing. When I was in school, I'm going to tell you, I was already, when that bell rang at 7:30 or whatever time it rang in the morning, I forget now, I was looking forward to that 2:05 bell, or when I get to be a senior, when my last class of the day would be, so I could leave. I had open school. I think I get out after 11 o'clock in the morning. Boom, I was gone. I looked forward to that. And I did as little as I could. And I skated through. I did okay. I did enough. I did well enough at some of the classes I was at least interested in and good at to get through. I wasn't a big award winner. But I got through. We had great, I mean, I don't know any of the faculty at hardly any of the schools anymore. I know none. But all I know is the person I was most afraid of was a guy named John Brigoli. He was the assistant principal. And it's always the assistant principal, right? We had Alex Somerville, who was he was a former school teacher, I guess most principals are. So John Bergoli, Alex Somerville, just the nicest guy in the world. Just a nice man. You knew he was never going to yell at. I never heard him yell. I never heard him raise his voice in all my years in high school. John Bergoli, on the other hand, whoa, I had some encounters with Mr. Bergoli. And you wanted to call him Mr. Bergoli, too. Let me tell you, Mr. Man. Well, you knew you did something wrong. He would dress you down, boom, just like that. And the words came easy. They weren't vulgar. They weren't ill-spirited, mean-spirited, but they would dress you down. They would make you feel that you had done something wrong and you had to pay the punishment, whatever it was, 80 minutes after school for a week. I don't know. I know I got a lot of those. I grew to love Mr. Bergoli after school. After I got out of school, one of the kindest men I ever knew. One of the kindest, gentlest men I ever knew. But you wouldn't know that when he was the assistant principal. They're both gone now. Now, I don't know I'm somewhat familiar with the hierarchy at Gardner Area High School. I don't know what the intention was when they decided. The school board, I guess, voted on this, and it was unanimous. They decided that, hey, not enough kids are getting recognized with this top 10 system we've got now. Well, I didn't get recognized. I knew I didn't deserve it. I didn't work hard enough. Had I worked hard enough and just missed it, what would I do? What would I do? Would I cry? Would I curl up into a fetal position and cry? I worked so hard to get here and I didn't win the award. Okay, before we get into this audio I've got from the Gardner School Board meeting last night, let me give you a case in point. I worked for a radio station. It was Town Square Media. It was 92 Moose. Most of my listeners in this area know that I used to work for 92 Moose. I loved it. I loved my time there. I loved the people there. I hold no ill will for any of them. They're very nice, and I left on good terms. I have nothing bad to say about them. But I'll tell you, there was a hair across my butt for a few years. But I didn't curl up into a fetal position. I'll tell you why. They had this award system, Employee of the Month. And every month, the different staff members would all vote, the sales department and the programming department and everybody would get a chance to vote for the Employee of the Month. Well, I was a really, really hard worker. I was. Most of my work went into putting out a good product, which I was very proud of. Still am to this day. We put out a good product on the air. That was my job. And maybe I wasn't as helpful to some of the other people as I could have been. I wasn't a kiss up like I should have been. I don't know what the deal was, but all I know is month after month after month after month after month after month after month, everybody in my periphery won that Employee of the Month trophy. And here's the kicker. My son, who grew up at the radio station, he started going in when I was 4 years old. My co-host, Renee Nelson, remembers when she used to come in on Saturday mornings. I'd work Saturday mornings, and I'd have to bring Matt with me because he was little and my wife was at work. So I'd bring Matt in with me, and Renee remembers coming in and tripping over his Matchbox cars, which were all over the hallway because he was playing with his Matchboxes while I was on the air working. Now, Matt is her boss. How things change. And they get along great. They get along great. But here's the deal. My son came to work. He started working part-time at the radio station when he was like 15 years old. He won the Employee of the Month award before I did. And I'd already been there like 20 years. Craziness. But it's just, it's the way it happens. Winners and losers. Oh, we've got to make John feel good. We've got to make him feel good. Include him. We've got to be more inclusive. Let's make sure he gets the employee. No. Kids need to learn. Sometimes you come really, I came really close. Somebody told me on a couple of occasions, you missed it by 1 vote. Okay, well, so be it. Better luck next time, me. So you work really hard, but you don't quite make the top 10. Duh. If anything, if you're a critical thinker, if you're a rational human being, and if kids are being taught the right way and they are growing up with the right set of standards and ambitions and expectations, I guess, for lack of a better way to put it, then they're going to realize, well, I was actually number 11 in my class. I didn't make the top 10. I didn't get in the newspaper, but geez, I worked hard. Next time I'll work hard. There you go. Now that's the right attitude. Attitude, that's the word that was missing. So I got to make sure this isn't one of our, no, this is one of those spam things. And that these things always distract me. So where was I? Don't you hate it when that happens? So anyway, you try harder. I mean, that's what you do. You try harder the next time. And you don't curl up into a fetal position and give up. But now everybody wants to make things more inclusive. They want to give the proverbial participation trophy, which, again, is not going to happen in the real world. It just isn't. It may even happen all the way through college. College is just as coddling, it seems, as any other institution of higher education these days. Many of them, not all of them, many of them. They've got to learn. They've got to learn that there are winners and there are losers. Oh, well, you take your hits, you brush yourself off, you get up and you go. You don't dwell on what you didn't get. You go get something else. You move on. You progress. But now we want to give participation trophies to everybody. That's the way of the world. Make everybody feel good. And it's not just in schools, by the way. It's everything. Oh, we've got to be inclusive. We've got to accept the people and this is mostly leftist ideology. I hate to say it, but it is. It's mostly leftist ideology, if not completely leftist ideology. Everybody, be accepting of everybody, except those we don't like. Like the Christians and the white people and the conservatives. Oh, it's okay not to like them, but everybody else we need to include. We've got a big tent, they say. The progressive, we got a big tent. Everybody, no, they're not. Everybody's not welcome in your big tent. Shut up. Your tent isn't that big. Now, this may not be the right way to set up this audio I've got this morning. I haven't written anything on it. I'm just gonna fly with it here. They had an emergency school board meeting last night for SAD 11. Now, what happened is it's my understanding that the principal of the high school, Chad Kempton, came to the school board and decided, we want to include more kids. Let's scrap the top 10. Scrap the top 10. That only includes the top 10 brightest students. Now, there might be some good reasons for not doing the top 10, but this inclusivity is not it. One of the things that I read, because I did a little research on this, Johnny did some research. One of the reasons the top 10 isn't always good, like valedictorian type. Some schools have done away with valedictorian. Why is that? That sounds kind of stupid. That sounds kind of short-sighted. But this point was made that somebody may be so dead set on graduating at the top of their high school class, and granted, that does have some benefits going forward, I agree, but they may just want to have that on their record so badly that they don't take more challenging courses and miss out on learning opportunities so they can get better grades to get to a higher level. So that made sense, but that was not part of the reasons put forth. It was more for inclusivity from Gardner Area High School. So they decided to scrap the top 10, and they're going to do the Latin honors system, like summa cum laude, magna cum laude. You know, this is what they do. I remember my daughter's graduation. She graduated one of the highest. She was one of the highest in there. I was very proud of her. Thank God that wasn't one of the things in high school. She got awards in high school. I don't think she was top 10, but she got awards in high school, and she was fine with that. She was, and then when she got to college, she got high honors, one of the highest honors. That's nice. You save that for college. But it's not as inclusive if you don't use it in high school too, apparently. So Gardner decided to do that, and they didn't tell anybody. Oh. Well, in the day and age of social media, you don't want to surprise people. You don't want to have a meeting where you don't promote this is being discussed. You want to be there. You want to be able to do some input. And by the way, everything's on Zoom now. So good luck trying to get in. Good luck trying to get in and get a word in. You have to send a letter apparently or do something. I don't know how they do it. But this apparently wasn't a well-promoted board meeting, and they did it. They voted on it unanimously. We'll get rid of the top 10. No more top 10 at Gardner High School, starting right now. And we're going to go to the Latin system. So those who thought they would graduate number 1, 2, 3, 5, 9, all of a sudden, they were just going to be part of a huge crowd of people who would get summa cum laude, magna cum laude, and then some other cum laudes. I don't remember what they are. And the kids and the parents, not just the top 10 either. They're like, what are you doing? What? You didn't even tell us this was going on. You make this decision. You don't tell us. And now my kid's not going to be in the top 10. He's not going to be in the paper. She's not going to get all the accolades. People. On the other hand, if you do that, if you do the Latin honors and you have like 50 kids graduating summa cum, magna cum, humma cumma, you know what I'm saying? Suddenly, if you're going to put them in the paper, suddenly this has been diluted to the point where the top 10 are now the top 50. In no particular order, maybe. Or maybe they don't even get in the paper. Ouch. Now, if you're going to do, I don't recommend you do it. I don't recommend you do it, period. I think the top 10, I think it's great. I think it's something to strive for. It's something the kids look for, especially the ones who really give it all their work. There aren't a lot of kids that I knew in school that really gave it their all. The ones that did, though, boy, they made it. I think of one woman, I think she was the valedictorian, Gay Mishral. Her name is Gay Grant now. I think she's on the school board of the city council or something in Gardner. Very smart, very beautiful voice, and a very smart person. She worked hard to get where she was. Now, I don't know how she feels about this, but I know how the school board felt about it. Yeah, we'll be more inclusive. So last night they had an emergency board meeting. And I'm going to play a couple of the things, explaining exactly what was done and why it was done. Becky Fless, who is, I know Becky. I know her quite well, actually. And Becky talks about, how this was presented and why it was done at last night's school board meeting. Listen.
In May of 2019, our high school administrator came to the curriculum committee asking for a change in how we recognized our highest achieving students at graduation. The tradition had been for many years to celebrate only the top 10 students of the class. Many of the students are separated from that 10 by fractions of a point. By adopting the Latin honor system, it included many more students and took out some of the competitive edges that sometimes split friendships and could perhaps allow for unkind behaviors. After listening to the compelling request, the curriculum committee voted to accept and support his recommendation. and bring it to the full board for consideration and a vote. That was done, and it was voted unanimously into policy. The intention of this decision by the curriculum committee and by the high school administration was including more high school and high achieving students, not a trophy for everyone, but rather a system of recognition that is used across the country and is known at the next academic level. Fast forward to May 7th. I received a call from a parent who was extremely upset that we had made a decision and requested that we change it. I indicated that I was on my way to an appointment and requested a couple of hours to do some research and that I would get back to her. In the meantime, I forwarded her the minutes from the meeting where the decision was made. In speaking with the superintendent, she asked me for some time to consider the issue to see if a solution could be reached that would be best not only for the 10 affected students, but for all of the students involved. By late Friday, the situation had exploded into a social media frenzy of accusations, insults, name-calling of the board for not caring about our students and for thoughtlessly making changes to tradition. And it continued throughout the weekend.
All right. So yeah, I mean, I get that. Social media can be brutal, but as far as it's hurting friendships. It sounds like it's creating a bullying type environment. Hard feelings, and how did we survive forever till now with Top 10, with the celebration of excellence? I understand if you miss out by a fraction of a point, I get it. But hey, life is tough. Life is not easy. Get used to it. You got to get used to it. So, I've told you many times, I wasn't a great student. I wasn't, I admit that. I got a couple of honors. I still got a couple of honors. I was proud of them. I was a bad student, but I excelled enough at a couple of classes, so I get a couple of honors. Well, that's okay. Now, if I got the honors, why didn't other kids get the same honor? Because they missed out by maybe a fraction of a point. And I won the award. Nobody hated me. Nobody criticized me. Nobody curled into a fetal position and gave up on life because I won the award for Auto Shop, because I had a 99 and my friend Jeff had a 98. He patted me on the back and said, "Nice job." Actually, I wasn't there the day they gave the award out, but I'm sure Jeff would have. So, this is, I'm not, the intent is good. I get that. The intent, I'm not going to criticize the intent. The intent is good. It is well meant, well intentioned, but it's not helpful. And there was another speaker at this meeting last night. Now, what they decided they would do, I don't know how I feel about this. I don't know. Again, I'm not in the school system. It's really none of my business. I would like to see how other people feel about it. I believe they have decided to do, if I understand right, and I'm just waiting for a text back from my friend who's on the school board, I think they're going to do both. So anyway, here's a guy named Matt Lillibridge, and he spoke after Becky Fless. And here's what Matt Lillibridge had to say.
The statements from the parents and the students were touching. And they were, as Pat already said, they were well written. But they're not the only kids who worked hard.
Right.
Every student mentioned how hard they worked. And I don't doubt this because obviously they worked hard to get into the top 10. But they weren't the only ones. Of the 100+ students who are graduating, seniors who are going to graduate from Gardner High School, I'm sure there are other people who worked hard. There could be a student or students who worked 10 times as hard as some of their peers. They're just not blessed with the same genetic gifts to get, a 90+ grade point average. They might not even make the the Latin honors. They don't get an award. So who's their voice?
What? Would they need a voice? They're seniors in high school, sir. All due respect. Who's going to be their voice if they don't even get Latin honors? Hello? 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 Adulthood calling. They're seniors. They're 17, 18, 19-year-olds. They've got a voice. They've also got the intelligence to do whatever they can to make the top 10. And if they don't, if they can't, or if they don't try hard enough, oh well. There are always victories ahead. And you try harder for those maybe, if you're driven. So they're going to do both. At least it sounds to me, it sounds like they voted that up to keep both. However, I would hope that it doesn't get watered down. The top 10 should not get watered down. Do your summa cum laude, spoil that for them now while they're in high school, so it's not going to mean as much if they get higher honors or high honors in college. Well, I got summa cum laude, magna cum laude when I was in high school. So what's going to happen if they get magna cum laude in high school and only summa cum laude in college? How's that going to make them feel? How is that going to make them feel? They were great, but now they're just, they're good. They're still good, but they aren't as great as they were in high school. Top 10. Top 10, that's, am I wrong? If I'm wrong, tell me I am. I'm not in high school. I didn't graduate top 10. I wasn't competing for it. Am I wrong? Is this just trying to award participation trophies, or is this something that is really going to be helpful to people? Is this, and if it's going to be helpful, tell me how. How is it going to make the students who didn't do quite as well as the top 10, how is it going to make their lives better? And I don't care about their parents. I'm sorry. Oh, the parents want to see they know their kids. Well, take your knocks, get up, dust yourself off. Try harder next time. Go get a high award in college if you decide to go to college instead of, going into the trades or the military. Good luck. You're the parents, you'll be backing them, but you don't want them given something they don't deserve. It's not the way high schools have traditionally been set up. Why upset the apple cart? To make more people feel good. Most of the people I know that came out of high school are doing just fine now. And most of the people I know and hang around with didn't come anywhere near the top 10. They're not depressed, most of them, that I know of. All right, so that's what I've got. I will let you know. I'm pretty sure that's what they decided on. And again, I hope this doesn't get watered down. Now, if they take the top 10 and say, well, we're not going to put the top 10 in the paper because that just highlights a few kids. Well, yeah, highlights the cream of the crop, and they should be highlighted. They did say that they would be putting the top 10 in the paper. But if they also put everybody who wins one of the Latin Awards honors in the newspaper, that sort of dilutes the whole reason for the top 10. Awarding excellence. It's what happens in the workforce. It's what happens in the environment, out in the world. When you're volunteering, when you're working, when you're fishing or hunting. You work hard, you get game, you get fish. You get raises, you get accolades. You don't work hard, you don't get any of it. Hey, welcome to life. How about easing him into it? Rather than, award for you and you and you and you, award for everybody. And then boom, the cold reality of the harsh world smacks them right upside the head the minute they step out into the workforce. Not fair. It's not fair. That is very unkind. While you might think you're being kind now, it really isn't that kind. The repercussions may be felt. All right, so that's all I've got right now. We got to take a break. I've been pushing this off. We'll be right back. Stick around. Freedom's Pep Rally. I'm John James.
Legacy 1160 WSKW.
Spring is the time of renewal for both you and your home. So brighten your day and your surroundings with great items from Townline Antiques. Do you love classic decor? You'll find furniture, artwork, glassware, signs, and hundreds more pieces around every corner. Their classic colors and styles will have you thinking spring and feeling invigorated every time you see them. Or maybe you enjoy collecting books, comics, coins, sports memorabilia, watches, or classic electronics. Townline Antiques has rare items that you won't find anywhere else. Townline is also showcasing a new display of art glass that's absolutely dazzling. Each piece is one of a kind with its own unique flair of colors and form. You simply have to see them to appreciate their beauty. And for everyone who loves to bring items back to life, they're now carrying high-quality fusion mineral paints that give you beautiful color and a durable, long-lasting finish. Townline Antiques, open Tuesday through Sunday from 10 to 5, Route 201, right on the Winslow-Vassalboro Town Line.
What's important here at Moody's is we have a lot of opportunity for upward mobility.
Moody's definitely helped me through. They sent me to school. I got my degree in business. I had the demeanor and I had the willpower and the want.
Our trade is constantly changing and there's always new challenges that arise.
I definitely feel like an owner. It's very exciting.
When you like what you do, you like your job, you like the people you work with, what else could you ask for?
Bring your skills to Moody's and build a long-term future with us.
Incense and Peppermints doesn't just have a huge selection of scrumptious candies. They have sweet treats that'll bring back wonderful memories every time you share them. Incense and Peppermints has candy that's fun for the whole family, like Jelly Bellies, Smarties, Turkish Taffy, Mellow Cups, Laffy Taffy, and Necco wafers. And candy that'll take you on a trip down memory lane, like old-fashioned penny candies, root beer barrels, atomic fireballs, Mary Jane's Bit of Honey, and Jawbreakers. They even carry Maine favorites like Moose Poop and Saltwater Taffy. Incense and Peppermints, 48 Main Street in downtown Waterville.
I'm CBS 13 meteorologist Lexi O'Connor. Mostly sunny this morning with a mix of sun and clouds this afternoon. Starting off cool but warming up quickly today with highs in the mid to upper 60s. Chance for a shower this evening, especially through the mountains and central Maine. Partly to mostly sunny, upper 60s to low 70s tomorrow. Staying warm this weekend with the chance for an afternoon shower or thunderstorm.
Thank you very much, Lexi. I'm John James. This is Freedom's Pep Rally. I've been looking at the comments here. Let me see if anybody's commenting on this school thing. I don't have them on the screen, but I can put some on the screen. I'll put them up a la carte. All right. What do we have here? I'm looking through the comments right now. You were talking about monkey bars. Oh, my word. You talk about something dangerous, Katrina, right? Wow. Those monkey bars, I'm telling you. And the teachers, back in the day, the teachers didn't mind what you did. You get up on the monkey bars, and it was at the monkey bars or the jungle gym that I remember. The jungle gym was fraught with danger. There was just kids crawling on it like monkeys. And there was a bar at the top, as I remember, and this jungle gym is long gone. I loved that thing, though. Kids used to get up, and there was a bar at the top, and we used to hang by our knees on our legs, hang down our head, and it must have been 4 or 5 feet to the ground from where we hung. We're just little kids. And, the teachers, hey, good job. How long can you hang there? Can you imagine they even saw a kid doing that now? You're going to crack your skull. Call the ambulance. Call the police. Get that kid down. We're going to be sued. Sued, I tell you. That's for sure. Let me see. There you go. Right on, Laurie. This is exactly why society has provided them safe spaces with puppies and fuzzy animals. Okay, yeah, we're getting quite a few comments here. And this one is from Deborah. I work hard every day and do like 3 other people's jobs, get nothing more, and make the same pay. There you go. That's the real world. You know, you're not going to be coddled in the real world, as Deborah knows. We did vote to do both for the future, and it'll clearly be written in policy, not just in practice. Thank you, Elise. Elise, you're one of the school board members. I remember seeing your name on the feed. Okay, so they did vote to do both for the future. It's in writing. And okay, all right. So that, you know, as long as you're still recognizing, I think, the cream of the crop, then, and I can't say I've got a problem because it doesn't affect me. But I see this trend toward these sorts of things. But if they're not going to get rid of the top 10, you know, that's fine. Rick says, I was friends with the top 10 in my class. We're still good friends today. And I'm guessing you were in radio, Rick, so I'm guessing you weren't in the top 10. Yeah, it's just a guess. I may be wrong about that, my friend, but you know, I know the type of people who are in this business. We aren't necessarily scholarly, although there are some very smart people. There are some very, very, very intelligent people in this business. Don't get me wrong. Your time right now is 9:50 here on Legacy 1160 WSKW. So good for the. I will say good for the school board for addressing this in an emergency meeting, and in my mind, doing the right thing by saving the top 10 and hopefully putting the top 10 in the newspaper. This is huge for kids who work so hard. And it does single them out, but there's nothing wrong with singling people out. You know, when you give a most valuable player award out at the Stanley Cup series or the World Series or the Super Bowl, you give the Heisman Trophy out, you give the to the winners. What is the trophy the high school football player is given? The Fitzpatrick Award. I mean, only one, and they don't give the rest of the football players little miniature Fitzpatrick Awards. You know, they get the one award, and that's good, and that's fine. And if other kids get miffed because this person won the award, well, you know, then they're the ones that have to get over it, in my mind. So, okay, we've addressed that. I feel better about that. I was contacted by a few people who were very concerned after this board meeting, knowing I had gone to Gardner High School, and I'm glad we addressed it. And Elise, I'm glad you let me know what the outcome was. That means a lot, and very best of luck in the future. And I hold no ill will against anybody there at my old alma mater. And I don't even know if I'm saying that word right. Probably put an R where an R doesn't belong, but that's what Mainers do. So onward and upward. Here we go. Let's get into the show now. We've got coming up at 10 o'clock, we have State Representative Shelley Rudnicki, and we will talk about her letter, which addressed her getting her privileges to have guests in the State House revoked after she brought Naomi Wolf into the State House, and they had the audacity, the unmitigated gall to knock on the governor's door. Somebody's knocking, should I let them in? Apparently not. You send your chief of staff out there to dress them down and send them packing. That's just what he did. And then the next day, Shelley Rudnicki, Maine State Representative, who has yet to receive any FaceTime with the governor after 14 months of trying. Yeah, the governor with the open door policy in the big state of Maine. Yeah, 14, 15 months now. She hadn't even reached out, hadn't even tried, despite knocks on doors, sticky notes, emails. Nope. Not even a peep. Oh, open door policy. The greater good. Times, better times ahead. As businesses close. As people flounder. As half the state isn't represented because nobody in the Democrat side is listening to a word the Republicans are saying. They are running a ram through everything, including the budget that was passed by a simple majority because they said it was an emergency. It wasn't an emergency. It was the way, the only way they could get their budget through with all their desires without pushback from Republicans. Pretty easy to do when you have the majority. Simple majority is all you need. And you know they're all going to walk in lockstep on that left side. So we'll talk a little bit about that too. Now, coming up, I've got some information for you. I don't know, you may have heard it, you may not have heard it. I have got a name that allegedly, I'm going to be careful here. I've got a name and some damning information that goes with the guy who allegedly killed Ashley Babbitt. Yeah, she's the veteran that went into the armed insurrection. It wasn't an armed insurrection. It wasn't an armed insurrection. Okay, let's put that to bed. All right, let the big boy news. Oh, they're big news people. Chuck Todd and everybody. They're saying it's an armed insurrection. They're right. You're just a little radio guy. No, trust me. They're just a bunch of mooks. They're a bunch of self-righteous Democratic operatives. No, I understand. Didn't even really rise to the level of riot. I mean, the only thing that was destroyed was, there was a little property damage on the doors. The House Speaker's computer was stolen. Don't mean to laugh at that. And a guy put his feet on her desk. Even though AOC says, I felt I was going to die. Took her 90 minutes to say she thought she was going to die during the armed insurrection on Instagram. Somebody has just a little bit too much social media time on their hands, I think. But what do I know? Just a little radio guy from Maine. So we'll talk about this. If everything is true, you're going to be shot. Or maybe not. I don't know. We'll see. Stick around. Shelley Rudnicki coming up after 10. I'm John James.
Legacy 1160 WSKW. From the Home Auto Group Studios, Farmington Ford and Franklin Chrysler in Farmington. This is WSKW, Skowhegan, Augusta, Waterville, Legacy 1160.
ABC News, I'm Alex Perche. The Colonial Pipeline is back online after a cyber attack shut it down earlier this week. Drivers, however, have been stunned by gas shortages across the Southeast. ABC's Ariel Reshev is in an airport in Charlotte, North Carolina, where airlines are also feeling the pain.
Here in Charlotte, they are trying to conserve as much fuel as possible to avoid canceling any flights. We are here on the tarmac, and we just saw this plane getting topped off with fuel, but American and United say that they are filling tanks of their planes in cities and airports that have not been affected by this pipeline shortage.
Top government agencies are urging anyone involved in critical infrastructure to upgrade their security information systems. Walgreens and CVS now accepting appointments for 12 to 15-year-olds to get their Pfizer vaccine. The Labor Department out with this week's unemployment numbers. 473,000 people filing last week, the lowest since the start of the pandemic. This is ABC News.
Would you like a cleaning product that can be used in the garage, the laundry, and the kitchen, and save space in your cabinet? Hi, I'm Bruce Fabrizio, inventor of Simple Green. Concentrated all-purpose Simple Green is the answer for versatile cleaning throughout your home and garage. I'm so certain you'll love Simple Green. If you're not 100% satisfied, I'll give you your money back. To learn more, visit us at simplegreen.com.
Simple Green, Simple Green. Here's the dirt on dust. It may seem fine, but it's actually made of dead skin cells and dust mite droppings. That's where Swiffer Heavy Duty Dusters come in, with thousands of specially coated fibers to trap and lock dust in one swipe. Dust can't hide on ceiling fans and bookshelves anymore. When you're done, just remove the disposable cloth and voila! That dust is gone for good. Now that you know the dirt, say goodbye to the dust. Swiffer Heavy Duty Dusters. Stop cleaning. Start Swiffering.
Legacy 1160 WSKW.
It's a new year. Aren't you tired of walking over the same beaten-up old flooring? It's time you installed a new floor that offers premium durability by contacting HT Winters about their line of Tarkett Pro Gen tile and wood flooring. Tarkett is designed to stand strong in all seasons against water, dirt, and sunlight. The best way to improve your home this winter is to install Tarkett Pro Gen tile and wood flooring. HT Winters, 43 Bay Street in Winslow, and online at htwintersflooring.com.
This is Molly from Rod Cyclone RV. We're about a year into the pandemic, and we're all searching for some sort of normalcy. Picture yourself sitting by the campfire with friends and family, your favorite drink in hand, sharing stories and laughing. I bet you thought of a specific night. We want to help you find your normal. We have a large selection of new and pre-loved travel trailers and fifth wheels, fully stocked parts store, and the best camper service around. Rod Cyclone RV, Route 201 Madison, or online at rodcycleandrv.com. We're not trying to be the biggest, but always trying to be the best.
Look around and you'll see hardworking people doing amazing things. People like nurses and respiratory therapists who keep us healthy, teachers and mental health specialists who care for our loved ones. And let's not forget the builders, electricians, and plumbers who help make sure our homes are safe and comfortable. What you might not know is that many of these men and women got their start right here, close to home, at Kennebec Valley Community College. Hi, I'm Teresa Smith, Director of Advising. And for more than 50 years, KVCC has expanded the programs we offer in order to meet the changing needs of Maine's workforce. Our adaptability truly is our strength, and we want you to know that no matter what changes the future brings, KVCC will be here, providing affordable, high-quality education to the people of Central Maine. With summer classes beginning on May 10th, there's no need to wait. You can apply today. High school juniors and seniors may even qualify for a free class this summer. To learn more, visit us online at kvcc.me.edu, or better yet, call us at 453-5822. That's 453-KVCC.
All right, that's 453-KVCC. I buried it in music because my fingers were a little quick on the trigger. They're a little sticky yesterday. They're a little quick on the trigger today. Welcome to Freedom's Pep Rally. John James at your service. Happy to be here with you and happy to have with me representative from District 108. It is Mercer. It is Smithfield. It is Fairfield. It is the great one, Shelley Rudnicki. Good morning. How are you, Shelley?
Good morning.
Great to have you here.
Good.
Good. I love the letter you sent to Ryan. Was it Ryan Fecto you sent it to? You directed it to?
Yeah, to the speaker.
You basically
after the letter that I received from them, definitely needed a response.
Yeah, I would say it did, and that was quite a response, a 2-page response. I love that. Now you had said something in your letter about. Because he had said, well, the rules clearly state. What wasn't in the rules that he said the rules clearly stated?
He said, I think what they were trying to say that the rules stated that I had to stay within where the House Republicans controlled the area.
I do remember that. Yep.
Yeah. I mean, they had listed 3 different things, but here's the thing I look at. The 3 things they listed. One is they were talking about the constituent, because they're saying that she wasn't my constituent. So they're saying I didn't have a right to bring her in for that. But if that's the case, then not one lobbyist, unless they live in my district, should be allowed in. Correct?
Right. Absolutely.
Live in a district of it. So I have a problem with that part of it. And then they tried to say that I tried to push my way into the House chamber. I have a badge that I could swipe, and we could have walked into the House chamber if I wanted to. We did not. We were just in the hall because we got off the elevator outside of the House chamber. And then the other thing is that I didn't stay in the House Republican office, but there was nobody there. So we walked down the stairs and knocked on the governor's door.
There you go. And it's all, by the way, you know, that you talk about baseless claims. It's all on video. It's all on video. Didn't push your way in the. Yeah, I read that. I thought, what? I don't even know what he was talking about when he said that.
Well, part of it is I don't even know if they know what they were talking about, because from what I understand, when they sent out the message or they were telling why they wanted to ban me and they were asking for the vote, they did not tell the truth of what happened to the Ledge Council members, because I've been informed, not specifically by them, it is definitely hearsay, but by members of my caucus that is not what they were told. They were told that basically what they said, that I tried to push my way in, and a couple of the Ledge Council members, we just told them, go watch the video. And they're like, yeah, this was not what they told us. But they had supported me regardless. And I want to give a lot of credit to the House Republicans and the Senate Republicans on Ledge Council for supporting me and backing me 100% with this.
Good. Some backbone. I like to see that.
Yeah,
you know?
I was very happy that that they have they're backing me, and a lot of stuff that has gone on this year, and I put a bunch of that in my letter. Between the governor not having an open door policy, at least to certain people, the governor, the way they're running committees, the Democrats that they're running these committees. One example that, and I wish I had the bill number, but I'm not sure the bill number, but there was, when a bill is presented to a committee, it is always presented by a legislator, either a senator or a House member. Well, apparently in Judiciary this week, a lobbyist actually presented a bill.
Huh.
From
Really?
the ACLU.
Really? And what was this bill?
I've been trying to find out to get the information on it, but I was actually told about it yesterday, and it was in Judiciary, and I don't know the bill number, but it was, I've been told about it a couple of times, and I was trying to find out yesterday. I don't know the bill number. I know it was in Judiciary, and that a lobbyist from the ACLU actually presented it, which it's not supposed to be happening. It's the fact that they are controlling what people say. They're controlling in some committees, and each committee is different because they are run by different people. But in some committees, they're cutting off people down to just being able to speak for just 2 minutes. Most of the time, if we have a substantial amount of people going to testify, then we do run a 3-minute clock and ask people to go that. But unless you're special, because there are some cases where they let them run on and on, which they've done in my committee as well. They're stopping people from having a voice. And that's the whole problem with this session, is that people, normal Mainers, are not getting a voice in what's happening. And it doesn't matter if there are 200 pieces of testimony on a bill, and those testimonies are all against the bill. If it's a Democrat bill, chances are it's passing out of committee. It's just, the whole process I think the whole process is pretty much hijacked this year.
Well, it sounds like it. It sounds like we're literally one party rule. It's
definitely one party rule, because even if we have, even if a Democrat crosses over and votes with Republicans on a bill, whether we vote ought to pass or an ought not to pass, doesn't really matter which way, they can turn around, because they control what comes to the floor when we are actually in session. It can, they can bring the minority report forward. So they can push whichever way they want to push, even if they lose in committee, which doesn't happen very often. Very rarely do they break ranks in committee. But if it does happen, they'll just push whatever way they want to push anyway. And some of the stuff that's coming up, and it's disheartening to see so much of what's happening.
Yeah.
And I really wish there was more I could do other than just shining a light on stuff that is happening.
You know what, Shelley? Your voice, you're doing this and being a voice, telling people what's going on and keeping them apprised of it is, I'm telling you, that there is more, that carries a lot more weight than you know. And you are trying your hardest to get things done, but it's fighting an uphill battle. There's no way you can get through because they've got the majority and they are using the majority. They've got the governor and they're using the governor. And I think the governor doesn't like you. I've got a feeling the governor doesn't. She still hasn't called you, has she?
No, she hasn't called me. I will say that I do know of a few legislators yesterday that had a Zoom coffee with her. Representative Pickett, who is the lead on criminal justice with me, he was in a Zoom coffee with her yesterday. Senator Guerin was also in that. Representative Tim Roach was in that. So they were actually on a Zoom coffee with the governor yesterday and got to mention, a few things. Representative Pickett did mention a few things to the governor that, we're concerned about in criminal justice. But it's definitely a pick and choose on who gets invited to these things. Although Representative Pickett said this is the first time he's been invited in all these years in the legislature to or since she's been governor in the last to be invited. So he went. He wanted to see what that was going to be about. So she did. He said she was gracious and did talk to them. So I guess that's something. Yeah, that is. Well, yeah. Better than nothing, I guess. You got to take what you can get when you're in the minority and you're in COVID. Yeah. And by the way, I was gonna say something. I forgot what I was gonna say now, but it had to do with what we're talking about here. And shoot, I can't. It'll come back to me, Shelley. It'll come. One thing I want to ask you about is the qualified immunity. Where are we on that now? So that has actually, it was tabled to another date. They haven't scheduled another date because they are pounding so many bills through right now that if something has a substantial number of people testifying on it, it runs over on time. Because, we did like 9 or 10 public hearings yesterday. Wow. And so because of that, they've pushed that one off. I asked, I was speaking to Representative Laurel Libby yesterday, and because she's on Judiciary, which that came before, and asked her about it, and she says that they haven't rescheduled it yet. And that's the issue, is they've waited so long, and the fact that we are not in session to deal with these bills. We were supposed to be in session today, which I actually have the day off from the legislature today. Wow. But we were supposed to be in session today. They postponed session till next Wednesday. Well, we're normally in session 2 days a week starting in January, and we have not been. So all of these bills that are either going to die and not have anything happen with them, or they're going to get pushed through, and we're going to be days working on them over the next few weeks, because we've been told that all of our bills need to get through, I want to say by the 20th, they need to get through our committees or somewhere in that vicinity. And there's still a lot of bills out there. We have a lot of bills that we've had public hearing on. Even yesterday, after our public hearing, they didn't schedule work sessions. So who knows when we're going to do them. Now, how about what are some of the big bills coming up, the controversial ones? Now, I know. I actually had dinner last night with some legislators, and we were talking about different things. Some of the big things that were going on, like in education this week, there was still some vaccine bills coming through, because in September of this year, if kids are not fully vaccinated, they will not be allowed in school. And that goes for all ages? all ages.
Really? Even
And
like
there's-
kindergartners?
Kindergartens, they have to be fully vaccinated. And if they're missing even one vaccine, there's no the medical and the philosophical exemptions it's very difficult to get a medical exemption.
Really?
And the religious and philosophical exemptions have done away with. Representative Fockingham presented a bill this week, LD 96, that basically said if the kids are already in school and they already have a medical or philosophical exemption, then they should be able to continue their school years.
Right.
That, just finish. And so that new kids coming in, okay, that's a different story. But if they're already in school with those exemptions, they should be able to continue. And that's not going to fly.
Wow.
None of these things. And the problem is they're even still saying that to go to virtual charter schools and those type of things it's a virtual school and they're trying to say they have to have the exemptions. However, the law is that you have to provide these kids with an education. Well, if they don't, if they're not vaccinated and you're not sending them, and they can't go to school, how are you providing them with an education?
Wow. This is going from bad to worse, isn't it, for these kids?
It is.
I mean, this has been.
I never knew. I honestly, when I heard, because I was on education when 798 came about, which is the vaccine bill, and I had never heard anything like that. It was heart-wrenching to listen to these parents that have lost kids or had kids that were vaccine injured and are just praying that they don't have to have their second kid vaccinated or their third kid vaccinated because of this, because you don't know whether they're going to get injured or not. And it's their choice. I'm not anti-vaccine. I was vaccinated. My kids have been vaccinated, all of that stuff.
Yep.
But I think it still should be, and especially if you've had a vaccine injury or have a family member that's vaccine injured. So there's a lot that people don't understand. And I did not understand until I sat there and listened through hours and hours and hours of testimony and met some of these young people that have been vaccine injured. And it's just horrifying. But what a lot of people are not going to get is people are pulling their kids out of school. And these school districts that rely on state funding and if they say just lose, let's say a school district like one of my school districts here, that is over 60, they get over 60% state funding per student. If you take that, say $8,000 per student and 100 students, that's $800,000 the school district is going to lose in state funding because these parents have pulled their kids from school.
Well, it's the parents' right. And I know the public, for all the marketing the public schools do, or marketing campaigning, I guess would be a better word, to, do away with charter schools, do away with homeschooling. We don't want that. Kids should be in a public school. Well, now they're doing, it seems, everything they can. The teachers' unions are involved in this in a big way to keep kids from going back, and now not going back unless they're vaccinated. And as you say, do you have any anecdotal evidence of some of the injuries, the people you've talked with from the vaccine? And there have, and I realize it's a very small number by comparison, but you're talking your children. You're taking a chance with your children. A 17-year-old in Utah just received the shot, and he's a healthy high school basketball star. And the last I heard, he was in the hospital in Utah. He had blood clots in his brain. And
it's awful. Well, I did, and I actually met some of these young people. So 2 summers ago, after the 798 stuff went down, because some of the support that I gave them, whatever, I was invited to a barbecue that they had, and my husband went with me, and we saw a 10-year-old girl in a stroller because she was completely, at that point, vaccinated, injured, MR. She had no responses. She was, it was just, it's heart-wrenching.
Wow. How old was it?
And what these parents, she was 10 years old at that point in time, and she was injured from a vaccine. And the thing is, and this is why, when these vaccines all came in, and again, this is things that I learned during all this, was that the federal government has basically exempt vaccine companies from any liability whatsoever. And it's us that are actually, when they actually make it to court or they actually make it to prove that they were injured, it's called the vaccine court, and they've paid out billions of dollars to people for vaccine injuries. And it's taxpayer dollars, because it's not Big Pharma that are paying those bills. It's us paying those bills.
Right.
And a lot of folks don't understand that. And, I get it. Vaccines are important. I'm not going to say they're not important. They are important. I'm not anti-vaccine. But I think that people should have the right to have a choice.
Thank you. My body, my choice, right? Where's that crowd?
Well, I mean, that's what the left promotes constantly, is my body, my choice. Well, that's all fine and dandy until they want to push you to have the vaccine or a vaccine.
Right. Only the difference between... The difference between them saying my body, my choice, and us saying my body, my choice, we're right. They're wrong.
Yes.
It's not their body. And that's typical hypocrisy. But, that's the way it is,
and
I guess.
There's another another couple of bills that are interesting, that there's a possibility of a tax increase on insurance plans. So a 2.85% tax increase. It's LD 1463. It's on health insurance premiums. And that is going to come back and hit the small business owners, the small companies. And that's going on in health insurance, and I think it's what it's called. The committee is health coverage and insurance and financial services.
Another tax.
And that's one that's pretty important.
Wow.
So the thing is there are so many bills, it's hard to pick out which ones to tell people about, because there are so many, and thank goodness we have some good quality people on these committees fighting them.
Yeah. Will it matter though? I mean, will it matter
you know what? In a lot of ways, I'm going to say probably not.
Yeah.
The only thing we can do is we've got to convince the governor, anybody that actually can talk to the governor, convince her to veto some of this stuff.
Yeah. Wow.
That's the thing, because some of this stuff, I mean, and then there's things like, there's a nursing home bill that Representative Laurel Libby put forward, which basically gives you the right to go visit your loved ones for compassion care visits.
Right.
And it's actually a federal rule. And that's an important bill, because we've all seen what happened over this course during the pandemic. And, I think, Representative Libby's on the right page with this, but who knows if she's going to get that one passed through. We've had, in my committee, I will say, I want to give credit where credit is due here. Representative Justin Fecteau.
Okay, yeah, he's a Republican, yeah.
Okay. Put forth a no-knock warrant bill to my committee.
Oh, really?
He did, and so did Representative Rauter. Now, basically what it was is just to limit some of the no-knock warrant stuff.
Right.
And I have to give a lot of credit to both him, to the state police, to the sheriff. They all worked together, and he got with Representative Rauter, who is a Democrat, because she had a bill in as well. They actually got together, they worked together like we're supposed to do.
Wow.
And came up with a much better bill that we passed out of committee yesterday.
Oh, nice. Now, what does this allow? Does this allows no-knock warrants but limits them?
Yes, it allows no-knock warrants, but there are limits and certain things that they have to do. And it was, the sheriffs and the police and the state police and everybody were on board and worked through all the language to make sure that they, it was acceptable to them.
Good.
Which, like I said, I have to give a lot of credit to Representative Fecteau for working hard and Representative Roeder for working hard to get this
That's excellent.
out of committee.
That's excellent. That's
they actually work together, which is what we're supposed to be doing.
Right. And that's nice. I mean, every once in a while they make a mistake and work together, right? Isn't that seems to be the way it is? Good Lord. Representative.
So, Representative Fecteau has tried really hard to work with the other side of the aisle on some of his bills that he has put through, and he's done a really good job of that.
Great. Shelley Rudnicki, Representative Shelley Rudnicki, District 108, Maine State Representative, Smithfield, Mercer, and Fairfield. And we're talking about bills and guns. Any gun bills?
Well, we had some gun bills that have come out of committee. They're divided reports. So a lot of it's going to depend on whether they hit the House floor or on the Senate floor next week during session. They've come out of committee, divided reports. We had a bump stock bill that went divided. We were against it, they're for it.
Right.
We had several different ones. We did kill a couple of them coming out of committee, so they won't go anywhere. When they come out of committee with a unanimous ought not to pass, then we don't have to worry about them.
Good. Yeah. Right.
Because that just kills them. But so, I mean, it still takes a lot for this stuff to go through. It's my understanding that the governor has been she's been very good about not pushing the gun bills. So let's see if she follows through and will veto anything that might come through. So.
I'm cautiously optimistic that she will. And again, giving credit where credit's due. I need to credit the governor, but we also need to credit the Sportsmen's Alliance of Maine with David Trahan and Becky Morrell and the whole staff there, and also the Gun Owners of Maine,
as well as the NRA. Lauren LePage is the director up here. So
absolutely,
they've all been working very, very hard to pay attention to these gun bills and make sure that we are working hard on those. So I think that they deserve a lot of credit.
They do. They absolutely do. Well, that's this isn't as bad as I thought it was going to be, although I'm still very miffed at this whole thing. Did you get a response from Ryan Fecteau yet regarding the letter you sent back to him?
No, I honestly don't expect a response.
Oh, is that right?
Yeah, I don't expect a response, but no, I have not received a response from him. I think that they just don't like the fact that Jeremy Kennedy got embarrassed and the governor's chief of staff,
is that his name?
Like a buffoon.
Yeah, he did. He did. He looked like a buffoon out there, pointing his finger down at the ground. You don't belong in this building. Yeah, actually, they do. You buffoon!
Well, and here's my problem. Here's my thing with this whole thing. That building is huge.
Yes, it is.
First of all.
Yep.
And there should be no reason that anybody should be kept out of that building. That's the big one. And if they're keeping people out because they're trying to keep people safe, then tell me those people aren't going to Walmart and wherever else and shopping or whatever else. Okay, that's one thing.
Right.
But the fact that the media is not standing outside that Capitol going, why aren't you letting us in? Why isn't this state open? Why, where is the media during all of this?
Well, you know why. They're part of the administration, basically. They're an extension of the administration, and they're doing it all for the greater good, and they're virtue signaling still, last I checked, by wearing their masks when they're reporting outside. I laugh at that. I laugh and I think, what are these? Do they even realize how foolish they look? And I'm guessing they don't. I know it's not the reporters making the decision. It's the hierarchy. Well, we've got to look good. We've got to look like we are taking this seriously. So you wear your mask whenever you're in front of that camera. And
what do you think about the taxpayer-funded gifts for shots that the governor's promoting?
Oh my word! We'll get Sea-Dog. We get Sea-Dogs tickets and whatever. Well,
$20 LL Bean gift cards, or It's like, I'm sorry that if the shots are this good, then why are we bribing people?
Right,
Did you see? Was it Ohio? Somebody posted that Ohio is giving away $1 million.
$1 million
for the next 5 weeks.
Yeah.
Your name goes into a drawing for if you get the shot.
I wonder where that's coming from. Can you say Ohio taxpayers? They must be thrilled. That's great.
Federal tax. I mean, it's probably coming from this federal COVID money. Who knows where this is coming? But it's still tax dollars.
Yeah.
You know, it's still taxpayers funding this stuff. And it's like, really? You think people for $20 are going to go get a shot if they haven't gotten one already?
Yeah, right. Well, I tell you what, you know, if Governor Mills wants to buy me a Chinese dinner, D12 at Lucky Panda, I'll get a shot today. I will. I'll go get it today, and I'll pick my food up on the way home. How's that? So you put a sticky note on her door. Tell her that. Tell her she won my heart if she does that for me. Well, listen, Shelley, it's always such a pleasure talking with you. It really is. And thank you, John, for highlighting things that are going on in Augusta. We certainly appreciate it too. I know that my colleagues and I appreciate, the fact that we, have a place that we can turn to and let people know what's going on. Absolutely. And you tell them they're all welcome. I've talked with a bunch of them, and I haven't talked to a few I haven't talked with for a while, Scott Sairway and Billy Bob and there's a bunch of them that I've talked to in the past. Well, I know that a lot of them are just crazy busy with committees, but I'll reach out to them and tell them to give you a call. Absolutely. That would be great. Or just drop me an email and I'll give them a call. I'm doing the show. I'm doing the show. You can give them, you've got my cell phone. You give them my cell phone. That's fine. Okay. And they can give me a holler. All right. I will do that. Anything else we should cover, do you think? I don't think that I can think of right now. Okay. I know that and like I said, there's always things out there. So I just want people just to try to pay attention to what's going on and look at the committee schedule once in a while and see what's coming up for bills, because you never know. Right. All right. Thank you very much, Shelley Rudnicki. I appreciate your time as always. And we'll talk to you next Thursday, if not before. Okay, we'll do that. And let us, if you hear anything back, if they rescind that order to ban guests. Oh, by the way, on that, does it actually say in the rules that they have to be constituents in your district? No, it doesn't. Okay, no. And nowhere in the policy, and nowhere in the policy does it say anything about any kind of punishment if you break the rules. Okay, I'm going to be nice. They've got their agenda, I guess. Well, listen, you have a great weekend. Let us know if anything comes up. All right, I will, John. Thank you. Thank you, Representative Rudnicki. Bye-bye. Bye. Representative Shelley Rudnicki, District 108, Smithfield, Fairfield, and Mercer, and just such a fresh voice. I mean, this is something that we sorely need more of in the government. I think we've got to you listen to Mike Violette's show and some of the people. I mean, Heidi Sampson comes to mind. There's another lady he had on who's a representative who is also, in fact, she dropped the sh word on the air one morning during an interview, and I laughed. It just made me, and she caught herself, and it was hilarious. Anyway, but we have some good people in there who we can count on. Shelley is certainly right there at the top of our list. Stick around. A lot more to come to, including who allegedly murdered Ashley Babbitt on January 6th. That is straight ahead and more on Legacy 1160.
WSKW, Legacy 1160.
Spring is the time of renewal for both you and your home. So brighten your day and your surroundings with great items from Town Line Antiques. Do you love classic decor? You'll find furniture, artwork, glassware, signs, and hundreds more pieces around every corner. Their classic colors and styles will have you thinking spring and feeling invigorated every time you see them. Or maybe you enjoy collecting books, comics, coins, sports memorabilia, watches, or classic electronics. Town Line Antiques has rare items that you won't find anywhere else. Town Line is also showcasing a new display of art glass that's absolutely dazzling. Each piece is one of a kind, with its own unique flair of colors and form. You simply have to see them to appreciate their beauty. And for everyone who loves to bring items back to life, they're now carrying high-quality fusion mineral paints that give you beautiful color and a durable, long-lasting finish. Town Line Antiques, open Tuesday through Sunday from 10 to 5. Route 201, right on the Winslow-Vassalboro Town Line.
Hi, this is Mike Perkins from KMD Motorcycle School. If you're interested in earning your motorcycle license, contact us to sign up for classes. Starting soon, they are available 7 days a week. Call 465-4835 or visit kmddrivingschool.com.
Us hardworking men still want to look our best. That's why you need to head to Penny's Barber Shop. You'll get an excellent haircut, straight edge neck shave, and a hot towel wrap, all for only $18.
Hi, I'm Christine, and I know what you're looking for when it comes to a great haircut and shave. From traditional styles to new ones, we listen to our customers because we have done it all.
When you look good, you feel good. So call Penny's Barbershop to set up an appointment today at 380-6224. Penny's Barbershop, 173 State Street in Augusta, next to Enterprise.
I'm CBS 13 meteorologist Lexi O'Connor. Mostly sunny this morning with a mix of sun and clouds this afternoon. Starting off cool but warming up quickly today with highs in the mid to upper 60s. Chance for a shower this evening, especially through the mountains and central Maine. Partly to mostly sunny, upper 60s to low 70s tomorrow. Staying warm this weekend with the chance for an afternoon shower or thunderstorm.
Legacy 1160 WSKW.
Hi, I'm Greg from Gregory's Disposal. Dumpsters, dumpsters, dumpsters. Call Gregory's Disposal, 465-4500. We can help. Cleaning out Grandma's attic, or if the kids finally moved out, leaving the junk behind, we have debris dumpsters and many sizes of roll-offs to get the job done quickly and efficiently. Call Gregory's. Call Gregory's, 465-4500. How about remodeling, redoing the roof, tearing off the old porch? Gregory's will bring the right size dumpster at the right cost. Our dumpsters are brown, and we keep our prices down. Call Gregory's. Call Gregory's, 465-4500. Gregory's can also help with your weekly rubbish. We offer many services, including curbside pickup, residential dumpsters, whatever you need. Gregory's is there to help. Call Gregory's, 465-4500. In case you missed it, call Gregory's Disposal, 465-4500.
Hey. Hi. Welcome back. Legacy 1160 WSKW. I'm John James, and this is Freedom's Pep Rally, powered by the Gun Shop on Coney Circle in Augusta. All right. I told you I'd try to get today in history. I get asked about that by there are two or three people that ask about it when we miss it, and I missed it this morning. So here it is. Just so you know, you need to know this is how we don't repeat history. We know, well, if it's good history, we want to repeat it maybe, but if it's bad history, we surely don't. So here is today in history. The Associated Press. Okay, go.
May 13th, 1981.
Oh, the Pope.
Somebody said, it's the Pope.
The Pope.
He's shot. We just looked. It was just unbelievable.
At the Vatican, Pope John Paul II is shot and seriously wounded by a Turkish gunman in St. Peter's Square.
Turkey.
The pontiff recovers, and a few years later, he visits his would-be assassin, Mehmed Ali Agha, behind bars. 1607. A ship carrying English settlers arrives at the site of what becomes the Jamestown settlement in Virginia. 1940.
I have never promised anything
Churchill.
but blood, tears, toil, and sweat.
In London, Winston Churchill gives his first speech as Britain's prime minister during some of his country's darkest days of World War II. 1846. The United States declares war on Mexico days after the two neighbors clash in their first major battle in Texas. The war ends with an American victory, forcing Mexico to give up territory from California to the Rio Grande. And 1950. Stevie Wonder, singer-songwriter, and one of Motown's most successful artists, is born in Saginaw, Michigan. Today in history, May 13th, Ross Simpson the Associated Press.
Stevie Wonder. Yeah. Everybody say yeah. Yeah. Remember that? Fingertips Part 2. I love Stevie Wonder. I love Stevie Wonder, except for I just called to say I love you. I don't love that. I mean, it's okay. The reason I don't love it is because I played it to death on the radio when it was out. I tell you what, you want to learn how to really hate songs? Become a radio DJ and play the hits. You're sick of them before you know it. You love us. Oh, this is the best song I've ever heard. 2 weeks later, you're like, will you get this thing off the radio? I'm not lying to you. And oldies. Oh, and not to say anything bad about oldies. We play oldies. I like a lot of the oldies we play, but a lot of them, I have worked oldies stations off and on for 40 years. I am sick of some of the music. I've become very bubblegumish, though, in my old age. I find I like to go back, and I love listening to the Leif Garretts and Donnie and Marie. Can you believe that? Tony DeFranco and the DeFranco family. I love that stuff. Heartbeat, it's a love beat. Come on now. Abracadabra, good stuff. Wicked good stuff. I'm trying to think of some other things. Music is my life. And just saying that reminds me of a Harry Chapin song. It's called Mr. Tanner. Oh, what a great music was his life. He was just a cleaner or something. He dry cleaned clothes. Oh, my word. Oh, get me going. Get Mac Dixon in the room. He works for the Mix over down the hall. Harry Chapin, I've got to tell you, I didn't agree with his politics all that much. I mean, he was a nice guy. He had he liked to feed the hungry. But I think he was very, very left-wing. I don't care. I love. I even turned my daughter onto his music, and a Mac turned his daughter, who is my daughter's age, onto his music. So somewhere in the world, yes, there are 2 30-year-old girls, women, who have taken to Harry Chapin. But if you've never listened to some of the songs, some of them will literally make you weep. They will make you weep. One of them is Mr. Tanner, Mail Order Annie. I could throw them out here all day. And they weren't big hits. Everybody knows Cats in the Cradle. Maybe I Want to Learn a Love Song. And, of course, Taxi. But, his catalog is so deep and so good. And he died way too early. I'm trying to think. There was a song about a waitress. Oh, my word. You've got to, YouTube these. YouTube these for me and give me a report what you thought of them. Tell me either, John, you're right on, I love this, or what is wrong with you? Here are the 3 songs I want you to listen to by Harry Chapin, and I'm sure you can get them all on YouTube. Mr. Tanner, A Better Place to Be, and Mail Order Annie. Oh, I want me some Chapin now. I'm not going to do it because we're doing a talk show here. But those 3 songs, if you need them repeated, just go ahead and message me and I'll repeat them for you. All right, the time right now on Legacy 1160 WSKW is, clock is very small. I believe it says 10:41 right there. If my eyeballs don't mistake me. Absolutely, 10:41 right now. And, it was, before we get to the Ashley Babbitt story, and this, by the way, I don't know if you probably haven't heard this. Maybe you have. I never know what people have heard and what they haven't heard. I just know what I haven't heard on mainstream media because I watch a lot of it. And then I find out a story like this, and I thought, wow, at least we need to get it out there. Who shot Ashley Babbitt? Allegedly. I'm going to throw that word in several times when I give you the story because I want to be really careful here. First of all, let's look at a new CNN voter poll. This is interesting. And you've got Stacey Abrams, you've got raging racist Joy Reid, and you've got all the Democrats saying how racist these Republican voter laws are. How dare you do voter ID? You are so racist. A new CNN poll. Yes, that's the propaganda network. You're right about that. A new CNN poll finds the majority of Americans feel voter ID laws make elections more fair. Findings are at odds with CNN and MSNBC and the Democrats, who are calling them Jim Crow laws. I'm surprised that CNN would even want to put their name on this poll, seeing they're one of the big mouthpieces against voter ID laws, although I think MSNBC is worse. The poll was conducted on behalf of CNN by SSRS, asked Americans in April last month if requiring voters to provide photo identification before they cast a ballot would make elections more fair. 64% said yes. 64% of white people, 64% of black people, 64% of men or women or Democrats or Republicans, 64% of people, regular people, not news loudmouths, not Congress loudmouths, people. 64% said yes, they are going to be more fair if there is voter ID required. 17%, only 17% felt that requiring a voter ID would be less fair. And I venture to say of those 17%, 16% were probably illegal aliens. I'm just saying. So there you go, CNN. Put that in your pipe and smoke it. And that's your poll, by the way. So maybe they did skew it. Maybe it was more like 80%. I don't know, but that's telling. But 17%, that's over 80%. Over 80%, 83% by my calculations, 83% don't think that voter ID is going to make it less fair. 64% say it's going to be more fair with voter IDs. Oops. There goes that narrative. Oh, report on that today on Meet the Press. Chuck Todd. Chuck Todd was at it again. Ooh, he never lets me down. He was playing hardball against Republicans, talking about the new GOP candidate for Virginia governorship, because apparently there's a law in Virginia you can't serve back-to-back terms. So that means Governor Ralph gun-hater baby killer Northam can't seek another term. Thank God. Mr. Blackface himself. Oh, it's okay. He's a Democrat. It was years ago. He's a Democrat. It's good. We'll let that one slide. Yeah, because he kills babies and hates guns. Who could ask for a better candidate than that, than Ralph baby killer gun-hater Northam? We'll get to that a little bit later. Anyway, we're also going to be talking about a shadow president. I have a name. Jim Croce. There you go. There's another great singer right there. Okay, here's the story I've been telling you about. You ever heard of David Bailey? Does that name ring a bell? Probably not, unless you've heard this story. Here's a little about David Bailey. He's a Black Lives Matter activist. He works for the Capitol Police in D.C. Social media reveals that Agent Bailey is a Brazilian immigrant who has pledged his allegiance to the deadly Black Lives Matter movement, even going so far as vowing to murder Trump supporters. Stay with me here. Agent Bailey is allegedly, here's where I'm going to be very careful. He's allegedly the one who shot and killed Ashley Babbitt on January 6th. Now, this is something nobody wants to talk about. Nobody wants this out. He was not charged. Again, being very cautious here, David Bailey is allegedly the shooter of Ashley Babbitt on January 6th. David Bailey is a black man. Now, according to an article at Populist Press, the Capitol Police absolutely refused to release the name of the officer. The media didn't ask for a name and diverted all the attention away from his murderous crime. Didn't want to talk about it. They keep saying armed insurrection. That's all they talk about. That's all, they're going to use it in the Virginia election. The armed insurrection on January 6th. They're going to use it to get a Democrat elected in Virginia. They've stated this. They've said they're going to. The only arm that was presented was by, allegedly, David Bailey to shoot and kill Ashley Babbitt, who didn't have a gun. In fact, she was wrapped in an American flag. Now, this article goes on here. And again, this is from Populist Press. In the face of arson, looting, terror, and death by Black Lives Matter over the summer, the D.C. Council unanimously passed a police reform law specifically requiring the city to swiftly make public the names of officers who use force on citizens. That's part of the war against cops. So, that's what happens. That's what happens. When the woman in Brooklyn City shot Dante Wright, we knew within hours. Her name, we had video of her shooting Dante Wright, thinking she had a taser. And the press conference was held where the mayor of Brooklyn Center wanted to deny her. He verbally said he wanted to deny her due process under the law. And he, as a matter of fact, fired the city manager who called for due process, which, just to bring you up to speed, is a constitutional right. But now when it happens in a way not benefiting the Democratic narrative and the mainstream media narrative as a direct consequence, they're tied together. They are unequivocally linked. If you don't understand that, then let me school you on that. Mainstream media, all of them, MSNBC, CNN, especially the cable outlets, tied unequivocally to the Democrat machine, period. Chuck Todd is one of the ringleaders. You'll hear that later if we have time. So Bailey has also, now this guy, Bailey, who allegedly, David Bailey allegedly is the one who shot and killed Ashley Babbitt. He has been in the spotlight before, and you will remember this incident. David Bailey was seen sporting the same wristband on many occasions, including when the media was celebrating him for his incompetence after allowing a deranged leftist gunman, a Sanders supporter, to open fire on congressional Republicans during a baseball practice in 2017 in Virginia. Steve Scalise was shot. You remember that? Steve Scalise, to this day, is a big pro-Second Amendment supporter. So David Bailey was there. Where? I guess he was doing something, not keeping an eye on things, apparently. So that was part of that is attributed to Bailey's negligence in protecting the House Republicans, which was his only job that day. Actually, he was Steve Scalise's personal bodyguard. That was his job. That was Bailey's job, to be Steve Scalise's personal bodyguard. Steve Scalise got shot. So there's a little more about David Bailey. Here's a Congressman Paul Gosar. I don't know if I'm saying his name right. Gosar. Gosar, maybe Gosar. Congressman Paul Gosar of Arizona. Here in this, he is questioning former Deputy Attorney General Jeff Rosen and the Capitol Police Chief, District Police Chief, Robert Conti. So here's the questioning starts. Here is Paul Gosar.
Mr. Rosen, do you recall the name of the young lady, a veteran wrapped in an American flag, that was killed in the U.S. Capitol?
I do. Her name was Ashley Babbitt.
Yes, Ashley Babbitt. Was Ashley Babbitt armed?
Again, Congressman, I mean to be respectful of your
Rosen,
observations, but I just don't want to talk about individual
Rosen,
situations or
reclaiming my time, Mr. Rosen.
Just
she was wrapped in a U.S. flag.
Thank you.
Was the death of Ashley Babbitt a homicide?
Yes, it was. Death certificate.
Congressman, I'm not trying to be unhelpful here.
He knows.
I just cannot.
I understand, but I mean, reclaiming my time, as the death certificate says, it was a homicide. Who executed Ashley Babbitt?
Crickets.
Congressman, I'm just going to have to say the same thing here, that I don't want to get into the specific facts
Thank you very much.
investigations.
Thank you very much. I appreciate it. Now, Chief Conti, what are the rules of engagement at the DC protests?
At DC protests, sir?
Yes.
Yeah, we the only time that we engage in donning riot gear, that kind of thing, is when in situations where there's an actual attack that's going on, sir. I'm not sure that.
Well, I appreciate you, and thank you for your service.
All right. Okay. Who was being attacked? The Congress had fled. Congress was nowhere to be found. You saw the empty House chambers. And apparently, I don't know where AOC was. Well, I do know where she was. She was at another place on the compound, another building on the compound adjacent to the Capitol, fearing for her life, as she told us, for 90 minutes. What? The police weren't being attacked. They tried to say over and over and over again that Brian Sicknick was attacked and killed with a fire extinguisher. He was not. He was attacked with some bear spray, not lethal. Now, I don't know if that could have contributed to his dying of natural causes, a stroke, later. I don't know. There were no weapons brandished, not during the armed insurrection. There was nobody to attack. They were just going in. They were going in to empty chambers. There was nobody to attack. Now, had they gone in and you saw, personal attacks on representatives and senators in the chambers, then deadly force most certainly would be justified. Most certainly, but there was nobody in there, and they weren't attacking each other. I didn't, except for the door being pushed down near the speaker's lobby, I really didn't see much anger at the whole thing. really, I didn't see a lot of anger. I saw a lot of frustration. But again, like I told you yesterday, this is what the right is very good at. Now, I don't say that they belonged in that building on that day. They did not. I am all over that. I get it. They trespassed. That is not a reason to use deadly force on somebody for breaking into the Capitol building, the People's House, and not brandishing any, not even attacking anybody. But they were focused. They had sole focus. Their focus was on the Capitol, where they felt, and I feel, that an injustice was being done in America, preventing Donald Trump from becoming president. I still feel that way. They were frustrated by it, by all the talk and nobody listening about voter fraud. It's being investigated now, finally, including in Windham, New Hampshire. There were some interesting weird things with a machine there. Smaller state, smaller, it's smaller apples, but it's a big story nonetheless. But the Republicans were focused, or the Trump supporters, the GOP, the conservatives, whatever you want to call them, they were focused. Capitol, protest, presidential election. The Electoral College, the electoral votes being certified, that's our target. That's where we're going to make noise. And they went a little beyond making noise. Most of them didn't. Most of them stayed outside. It was just a handful of the crowd, just a little bit of the crowd that went inside, but they shouldn't have done it. But it was focused. Now, had it been the left protesting, they would have not only gone to the Capitol, they would have gone and they would have destroyed Walmart and Target, and they would have robbed Walgreens and liquor stores and burned police stations. We focus our anger because we aren't mentally ill. Now, some of us are. Speak for myself, right? Stick around. We've got more coming up after the top of the hour. I'm John James. This is Freedom's Pep Rally.
What's important here at Moody's is we have a lot of opportunity for upward mobility.
Moody's definitely helped me through. They sent me to school. I got my degree in business. I had the demeanor and I had the willpower and the want.
Our trade is constantly changing, and there's always new challenges that arise.
I definitely feel like an owner. It's very exciting.
When you like what you do, you like your job, you like the people you work with, what else could you ask for?
Bring your skills to Moody's and build a long-term future with us.
I'm CBS 13 meteorologist Lexi O'Connor. Mostly sunny this morning with a mix of sun and clouds this afternoon. Starting off cool but warming up quickly today with highs in the mid to upper 60s. Chance for a shower this evening, especially through the mountains and central Maine. Partly to mostly sunny, upper 60s to low 70s tomorrow. Staying warm this weekend with the chance for an afternoon shower or thunderstorm.
From the Home Auto Group Studios, Farmington Ford and Franklin Chrysler in Farmington. This is WSKW, Skowhegan, Augusta, Waterville, Legacy 1160.
ABC News, I'm Alex Perche. The Colonial Pipeline is back online after a cyber attack shut it down earlier this week. Drivers, however, have been stunned by gas shortages across the Southeast. ABC's Ariel Reshef is in an airport in Charlotte, North Carolina, where airlines are also feeling the pain.
Here in Charlotte, they are trying to conserve as much fuel as possible to avoid canceling any flights. We are here on the tarmac, and we just saw this plane getting topped off with fuel, but American and United say that they are filling tanks of their planes in cities and airports that have not been affected by this pipeline shortage.
Top government agencies are urging anyone involved in critical infrastructure to upgrade their security information systems. Walgreens and CVS now accepting appointments for 12 to 15-year-olds to get their Pfizer vaccine. The Labor Department out with this week's unemployment numbers. 473,000 people filing last week, the lowest since the start of the pandemic. This is ABC News.
Would you like a cleaning product that can be used in the garage, the laundry, and the kitchen, and save space in your cabinet? Hi, I'm Bruce Fabrizio, inventor of Simple Green. Concentrated all-purpose Simple Green is the answer for versatile cleaning throughout your home and garage. I'm so certain you'll love Simple Green. If you're not 100% satisfied, I'll give you your money back. To learn more, visit us at simplegreen.com.
Simple Green, Simple Green.
Here's the dirt on dust. It may seem fine, but it's actually made of dead skin cells and dust mite droppings. That's where Swiffer Heavy Duty Dusters come in, with thousands of specially coated fibers to trap and lock dust in one swipe. Dust can't hide on ceiling fans and bookshelves anymore. When you're done, just remove the disposable cloth and voila! That dust is gone for good. Now that you know the dirt, say goodbye to the dust. Swiffer Heavy Duty Dusters. Stop cleaning. Start Swiffering.
Freedom's Pep Rally back. Final hour. How are you? We're almost at the weekend, aren't we? One more day. Kind of nice. What I like about Friday and Saturday are my favorite days. The reason Friday is one of my favorite days is because once I'm off the air, unless there's some earth-shattering news breaking, I don't do show prep. I've got the day off because show prep takes literally hours to do every day just to get all the stories together and all the audio and all that stuff. And Saturday, Saturday's sort of like Friday, except I have the whole day off Saturday. I don't have to do a show or anything like that. Then Sunday, it's sort of back to the show prep thing for Monday. So really, one full day a week off from this job. I'm not complaining. I'm just telling you why I like those 2 days, Friday and Saturday. Friday's a short day, and Saturday is my nothing day, or my, can be nothing, or recreation sort of a day. We've got 11:04 here on Legacy 1160. We are powered by the Gun Shop on Coney Circle in Augusta. Stop in and see their beautiful store and their great selection of guns, AR-15s, hunting rifles, shotguns, a lot of pistols, a lot of revolvers. They've got it all. They've got a ton of stuff. And, you catch them right, and you'll even find ammo on the shelves. In addition, they always save ammo for new gun buyers. So if you buy a gun, you can be sure you're going to be able to feed it at least something in the short term until this ammo shortage lets up a little bit, and we hope it does sometime soon. But there's no, as guns fly off the shelves now in this day and age of defunding the police, boy, that everything they do backfires on them. You sort of feel sorry for them in a way, but not really. They defund the police. They shut down the economy, in the COVID world. So everybody wants to go out and they want to get guns during COVID-19. So there was a spike there. And then the defund the police movement, whoa. And the Black Lives Matter riots, whoa. Literally record gun sales to a record number of brand new gun buyers. I can imagine Moms Demand Action's group is probably shrinking more and more every day. Because a lot of those on the left who would never own a gun, who don't want guns to be in society, are actually buying guns. That's a very good thing. That's a very, very good thing. Trust me. 11:06. And, let's see. I'm sorry. I have not been, we need the time. I don't have the time gong on my soundboard. I want to get that back. Oh, did he get a Medal of Honor from Donald Trump? Did he really? I don't remember that. Whoa, I missed that one. Abracadabra. Joe wants to reach out. Abracadabra. Joe wants to reach out and sniff ya. Good lyrics, Casey. All right. That was Steve Miller Band, by the way. I know the songs. I know this. You have a question about songs, you let me know. If they're not too recent, I've fallen off the I've fallen off the current hits wagon, so I'm not really up on I'm really not up on what the kids are listening to now. I like a lot of it, I do, but I just don't really know the names or the names of the songs or the artists anymore. 11:07 on Legacy 1160 WSKW. I want you to listen to something. I got this piece 2 or 3 weeks ago, and it was so good. So good. I thought, I am going to play this on the air. This is just so good. I don't think it's time sensitive in any way, or else I wouldn't have saved it this long. So on Fox News Prime Time, there was a host a few weeks ago. His name is Ben Domenech, and he is the co-founder of The Federalist. He's also a writer and TV personality. I don't even know if I'm saying his name right. I think I am. Ben Domenech. Now, his open one night on Fox News Primetime was very moving. It was just simply moving, and it was spot on. And not only is this guy's voice like butter, you wait. If you don't know who Ben Domenech is, ladies, what a voice this guy's got. So anyway, not that matters, but I'm really into voices. Can I tell you? So not only is his voice like butter, but he reemphasizes everything we know that we're up against. It might be a good idea to make a list of some of the things he goes through, so you can keep track of all the things that the Joe and Kamala clown show is doing to destroy us and make us hate each other. That's part of the plan. Make us hate each other. Sow division, sow hatred. It's part of it. Now you think it's touchy-feely. Oh, they want good for everybody. No, they don't. They want the more anger, the better. They are just excellent when it comes to messaging. Well, not so much Joe, but the rest of the left is excellent when it comes to messaging. And they convince you that they're doing it all for the greater good when they are totally not. Now, as the show opened, Domenech talked about the significance of Patriots Day. So, yeah, this goes back to last month. This is almost a month old. So he talks about the significance of Patriots Day and the American Revolution. And then he compares the events of that time period to what is going on right now. Here is Ben Domenech on Fox News last month, co-founder of The Federalist.
The same challenge faces us today. The forces arrayed against the survival of the United States of America, foreign and domestic, do not believe you have the capacity, the ability, or the right to govern yourselves. They work every day to scare you into silence, indoctrinate your children, gaslight you with falsehoods, direct your future, and stamp out your freedom. Understand, it is the totalitarian left that wants a national divorce. They want racial strife that burns down your cities. They want envy and segregation and division that pays for their $1 million homes in Topanga Canyon. They want to demolish Mount Rushmore, make you pay for abortions, and force your daughters to compete in sports against men. They want to teach your children to hate cops, the anthem, the flag, and everything you were raised to love and respect. They want to destroy our great American experiment, a thriving, capitalist, multi-ethnic republic of God-fearing people for all time. But we're on to them. We're not going to let them. And together, we're going to show them what free people do.
There he is. Boom. And how easy is that guy to listen to, right? Ben Domenech from The Federalist. Right on. He's right on. He said it eloquently. They don't want us. They want us to hate each other. They want us. They drive the wedge. They drive the wedge. And nobody drives it better than the people who are paid professionals to do it. The media. The media is complicit with the Democratic party in driving a wedge between people by race, by ethnicity, by socioeconomic, you name it. Anything they can find, any differences they can find, they exploit and they drive the wedge. They look for the opening, pow! I'm not wrong, am I? All right, I want to talk about Susan Rice, and I've got a reason for that. Some troubling news, actually. Troubling news. But first, I want to tell you what she has been charged with in the Biden administration. She's a former national security advisor to Obama, Susan Rice. You've heard her name. She has been put in charge of directing hundreds of federal agencies and departments to expand access to mail-in voting. In other words, to continue being able to be fraudulent with elections. No ID required. Just if you're on the voter rolls, we'll send you a ballot. You can expand it. Yeah, you know what that does. The leftist pawns will deny it. They will deny it all day long, just like they deny there was no fraud in the race. Joe Biden won fair and square. If Joe Biden wasn't such a meathead, wasn't such a bonehead, you might believe he was a good, he was a terrible candidate. Kamala Harris was a horrible choice to be vice president. There is no way he could have won a fair and square election with more votes than Obama got. People didn't hate Trump that much. So, I know the election's over. I get that. But Susan Rice, she's going to fix it so everybody will be able to vote by mail. No voter ID. No. Voter ID, screw that. Why? That's racist. Well, not according to 83% of Americans. CNN poll, by the way. So the marching order states, quote, agencies shall consider ways to expand citizens' opportunities to register, vote, and obtain information about and participate in the electoral process. The head of each agency shall evaluate ways in which the agency can, as appropriate and consistent with applicable law, promote voter registration and voter participation. Now, that all sounds good on the surface. But when you get into the nuts and bolts of things, and you see that it's just going to be an expansion of the mailing ballots to wherever, people on the rolls that have been dead for years. I mean, there's all kinds of anecdotal evidence proving this happened. Illegals voting, canvassing. There's going to be voter ballot harvesting. I mean, this is how you win This is how you make a totalitarian government. This is how you make a totalitarian government. It's one thing to make it easier for all the legal voters to cast one vote, but that's not the goal. That if that was the goal and there was a way to maintain fairness and oversight in the whole thing, that would be one thing. But the way they're doing it, there is no way to do that. And they know it. That's why they're pushing it. So, Susan Rice, if you have any doubt that Susan Rice is a race baiter, by the way, I mean, this woman is so left. She's left of Fidel Castro. So if you have any doubt that she's a race baiter, listen to what she says about the Trump administration as she's talking with Andrea Mitchell over on MSNBC. In this piece, she was talking about John Bolton's book. John Bolton used to work for the Trump administration, wrote a book excoriating Donald Trump, just kind of a loser, and obviously quite bitter. But they were talking about John Bolton's book. And this is Susan Rice. And hold on a second. And this is actually from last year. Give this a listen.
To serve an administration which has been racist to its core for the last 3.5 years.
There you go, racist to its core.
From comparing the peaceful protesters at Charlottesville to white supremacists, calling white supremacists very fine people.
He did not.
All the way through to the recent weeks where the administration has disparaged the Black Lives Matter movement, disparaged the peaceful protesters, and basically made plain that they prefer to stand by a Confederate legacy than a modern America.
This woman is just gonzo. She is gonzo lefto. She's an agent provocateur. That was Susan Rice. Oh, the peaceful protest, Black Lives Matter. La-di-da, Trump's a racist. Trump said they're very fine people. No, he didn't say that the racists, the white supremacists, were very fine people, but they don't care about facts. Why would you think a party that doesn't care about the Constitution would care about facts? They care about nothing except their end game and whatever means it takes to get there. So there she is, angry, mean, and she wants to help Biden transform America to a single-party country. And she's arguably as powerful, if not more powerful, than Aunt Kamala. But Cackling Cammy. Do we have one? Do we have a Cackling? Do we have a Cammy Cackle? There she is. There she is. Oh, you want your daughter to grow up like her, right?
Just don't.
I don't know what she was laughing. She laughs out of because she's probably laughing at the genocide in China. So anyway, why do I bring up Susan Rice? Well, according to Richard Grenell, former acting director of the National Intelligence, NIA director, Richard Grenell told Fox News in an interview with CPAC, actually, Fox News reported this. This was an interview with CPAC. He believes Susan Rice has assumed the role of shadow president. This was predictable. This was predicted that Kamala Harris would be too busy, I don't know what she is, with her duties as being the tie-breaking vote in the Senate to really be that right-hand woman to Joe Biden, and that Susan Rice would arguably have more power. Well, Richard Grenell, former NIA director, says he believes she is the shadow president. Now, let's look at the rest of the story here. You know, she served as national security advisor under Obama, and in December, Biden asked her to take charge of the White House Domestic Policy Council, which includes the expanding mail-in voting. Now, it's the role that Grenell believes she is using it to exert her influence. He says Biden is too weak to stop the progressives from taking over. Vice President Kamala Harris does not understand what's going on. She's AWOL. I mean, woohoo, woohoo. She's the border czar. She's never been to the border. Border czar. She doesn't know what's going on. You know what she did? She's just basking in the power. Oh, look at me. Look at me. I'm going to be president someday. So Richard Grinnell says we have a shadow president in Susan Rice, and nobody is paying attention. That's kind of scary, isn't it? Rice is one of the many officials from the Obama administration that landed jobs in the Biden White House. There was speculation she would be his running mate. When that never materialized, Secretary of State. She's among the wealthiest individuals in the Biden White House. She has a net worth of at least $38 million, according to the Wall Street Journal. Last December, she resigned from her role as a member of the board of directors at Netflix. That shouldn't surprise you. He said that it's apparent that Biden's effort to placate the far left in his party while dealing with significant foreign policy concerns is leading to more headaches. And it is beyond both Biden, who is, he has issues, and Kamala, who doesn't know what's going on, doesn't seem to care about the border. Now she's in charge of something to do with NASA. With space. I got an idea. Put her on the next rocket out of who's the Tesla guy? Oh, I hate it when I forget names. I really do. Yeah, I know. I should remember that. They needed someone in there they could control. Yeah, I don't know. I don't know if they can control Susan Rice or not. Or maybe you're talking about the last story we did, Deb. I don't know. I think Susan Rice is pretty strong. She's strong-headed, and she's also very, 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 very far left. Very far, dangerously far left. Squad-like far left. And she's a racist. Just is. Oh, Biden, right. Exactly right. Exactly right. They wanted somebody, and they can control him. No question about it. I think, and I think that Barack Obama had a lot to do with the fact that Kamala Harris, who was the district attorney in San Francisco, when all the priests, the pedophile priests got off scot-free because she didn't, she was getting money from getting her palms greased from the lawyers for the priesthood. So she didn't bring any charges. Yeah, kids that were abused, they had no friend in Kamala. And then she forgot all about the woman who accused Joe Biden of rape, Tara Reid. Forget all about her. Haven't heard of her since before the campaign, when Kamala was all over it. Where power is involved, people who are in power always want more power. That's the story of her life. All right, we're looking at 11:26 right now. We got to take a break. We'll be right back. I'm John James. This is Freedom's Pep Rally. We're Legacy 1160 WSKW.
WSKW, Legacy 1160.
Incense and Peppermints doesn't just have a huge selection of scrumptious candies. They have sweet treats that'll bring back wonderful memories every time you share them. Incense and Peppermints has candy that's fun for the whole family, like Jelly Bellies, Smarties, Turkish Taffy, Mellow Cups, Laffy Taffy, and Necco wafers. And candy that'll take you on a trip down memory lane, like old-fashioned penny candies, root beer barrels, atomic fireballs, Mary Jane's Bit of Honey, and Jawbreakers. They even carry Maine favorites like Moose Poop and Saltwater Taffy. Incense and Peppermints, 48 Main Street in downtown Waterville.
What's important here at Moody's is we have a lot of opportunity for upward mobility.
Moody's definitely helped me through. They sent me to school. I got my degree in business. I had the demeanor and I had the willpower and the want.
Our trade is constantly changing, and there's always new challenges that arise.
I definitely feel like an owner. It's very exciting.
When you like what you do, you like your job, you like the people you work with, what else could you ask for?
Bring your skills to Moody's and build a long-term future with us.
Spring is the time of renewal for both you and your home. So brighten your day and your surroundings with great items from Townline Antiques. Do you love classic decor? You'll find furniture, artwork, glassware, signs, and hundreds more pieces around every corner. Their classic colors and styles will have you thinking spring and feeling invigorated every time you see them. Or maybe you enjoy collecting books, comics, coins, sports memorabilia, watches, or classic electronics. Townline Antiques has rare items that you won't find anywhere else. Townline is also showcasing a new display of art glass that's absolutely dazzling. Each piece is one of a kind with its own unique flair of colors and form. You simply have to see them to appreciate their beauty. And for everyone who loves to bring items back to life, they're now carrying high-quality fusion mineral paints that give you beautiful color and a durable, long-lasting finish. Townline Antiques open Tuesday through Sunday from 10 to 5, Route 201, right on the Winslow-Vassaboro Town Line.
Electrical repair should never be done without the knowledge of how to do it safely. Better yet, skip that stress and let Kennebec Electric and Lighting take care of it for you. Kennebec Electric has offered professional electric and lighting service and expert installation in homes and businesses for over 37 years, and they stand behind that experience with a guarantee on all their work. Kennebec Electric and Lighting. Contact them for all your electric and lighting servicing, including installations and repairs at 861-7028 or online at KennebecElectric.com.
I'm CBS 13 meteorologist Lexi O'Connor. Mostly sunny this morning with a mix of sun and clouds this afternoon. Starting off cool but warming up quickly today with highs in the mid to upper 60s. Chance for a shower this evening, especially through the mountains and central Maine. Partly to mostly sunny, upper 60s to low 70s tomorrow. Staying warm this weekend with the chance for an afternoon shower or thunderstorm.
Legacy 1160 WSKW.
What's important here at Moody's is we have a lot of opportunity for upward mobility.
Moody's definitely helped me through. They sent me to school. I got my degree in business. I had the demeanor and I had the willpower and the want.
Our trade is constantly changing and there's always new challenges that arise.
I definitely feel like an owner. It's very exciting.
When you like what you do, you like your job, you like the people you work with, what else could you ask for?
Bring your skills to Moody's and build a long-term future with us.
All right, that went a little longer than I wanted it to, but that was error on that was operator error. It's 11:30. That's all right. We got a half hour left here, and there's stuff I want to get to. I want to get to a very dire warning from Army generals. And it's not like you couldn't see this coming from a mile away. And I'll get to that shortly. But before I do that, all I can say is what took so long? You knew this was coming. You knew this was coming. You know, we've had the biggest anti-Semitic members of Congress speak out the squad. After Hamas attacked Israel firing rockets from the Gaza Strip, Ilhan Omar condemned Israel for defending itself by firing back. How dare they? How dare those Jews shoot rockets back at their attackers? Yeah, some people did something. Then AOC condemned New York mayoral candidate Andrew Yang for supporting Israel as he was getting ready to help serve meals to Muslims. What? Are these mutually exclusive now, I guess? So if you're going to serve meals to Muslims at the end of Ramadan, how dare you stand up for Israel because we hate the Jews? Somebody punches you, what do you do? I just sit there and I let them punch me some more. I say, go ahead, punch me some more. Tie my hands behind my back. Just keep punching. No. These people are idiots. They're brain dead. Brain damaged is too good. They're brain dead. So there you go. You have two of the squad members. You have Ilhan Omar and you have Rashida Tlaib, who think that Israel should be condemned and did in fact condemn Israel for fighting back. How could they do that? Just let those poor people in those poor Palestinians on the Gaza Strip. Just let them blow up your country. They deserve it. They have been offered land so many times in history. Look back. No. There are many times I went through the whole lineage once by year, starting way back in the 20s, in the 30s. Maybe it's, I don't even know. Not going to pretend I do. And I wondered, wow, we haven't heard. And do you recall the loudest, most brash squad member of all? So where is she? Where is Rashida impeach the mother effer Tlaib? Where is Rashida? Oh, any men, you better not want to have sex with me. Well, don't worry, sister. Whoa, don't you worry, dear. Don't you worry. Yeah, she said that at an abortion rally, a pro-baby killing rally in front of the Supreme Court. Yeah, she said that. So I was surprised when I didn't hear from her on Israel, because I know she hates Israel too. She hates Israel as much, if not more, than Ilhan. Some people did something. Omar and AOC. Oh, I thought I was going to die. Sandy Cortez. So where's Rashida Tlaib? Well, wouldn't you know it? She showed up in a place I would fully expect to see her. MSNBC. With her multi-windbag like attack on Israel. I don't even know whose show it was on. So here's Rashida Tlaib. We've got to let you hear this.
We need to stop and look at the fact that our own country is enabling it with billions of dollars every year being issued to Israel, even though they are promoting racism and dehumanization.
Oh, she loves racism. She loves racism. Racism. Red meat here. Some more red meat. Racist. Oh, yes, Israel are giving those evil people money. How dare we give people money like that? No, let's give it to illegal aliens who are coming in to kill our kids and rape our women. Let's do that. Let's save our money for something good. We don't want to give it to Israel. Let's give it to the Kennedy Center for the Performing Arts, or Nancy Pelosi's bridge project in San Francisco, or train project, sorry, or Chuck Schumer's bridge project in New York. Give it to the Israelis. They're racist. Everybody's racist. If they're white, if they breathe, they're racist. Some charming people we have over there in Washington, huh? So very charming. Want to go up and squeeze their cheeks really, really, really hard sometimes. So the military, what's up with the military? Army generals warn of Biden's Marxism. That's my headline. I put that as a headline on this story. We told you. Oh, Biden's a moderate. That's my Joy Behar. I'm getting better at that. Joe Biden's a moderate. Sounds a little like an angry Edith Bunker. I know Joe Biden's not a moderate. Joe Biden is any way the wind blows Joe, and the wind has blown him way over to the left, as AOC said it would before the election. She predicted, we'll be able to push Joe to the left. Don't worry. We got this covered, kiddo. Don't worry. Sure enough, as predicted, the story at nationalpulse.com says in a letter signed by more than 120 retired military flag officers that America is under tremendous assault from socialist and Marxist ideologies, encouraging more citizens to counter the dangerous subversion. This is no small claim here. Let me read a little of the letter. Our nation is in deep peril. We are in a fight for our survival as a constitutional republic like no other time since our founding in 1776. The conflict is between supporters of socialism and Marxism versus supporters of constitutional freedom and liberty. That's how the letter opens. These are flag officers in the military, retired. So I said Army generals. That wasn't exactly right. Sure, there are generals in there. The letter also slams the Biden White House, noting that the mental and physical condition of the commander-in-chief cannot be ignored. He must be able to quickly make accurate national security decisions involving life and limb anywhere, day or night, they said, while slamming the regime for passing executive orders in a dictatorial manner. Biden said they were dictatorial before he made them. Executive orders are the tools of tyrants, he said. And then he proceeded to pass more than any of the last 4 presidents combined. So he basically says that's what a tyrant does and then shows that he's a tyrant. They also called the Chinese Communist Party, and this is a very, very scary claim, from the U.S. military. We know how close Joe Biden is to Xi Jinping and the Chinese Communist Party. So is John Kerry. So is Hunter Biden, Joe's son. So is Devin Archer, a good friend and former employee of John Kerry, and Christopher Hines, John Kerry's stepson. They're right in there. They're all right in there. They love the Communist Chinese. Mitch McConnell, another one. His wife is Chinese. Her parents live in China. They have benefited from Chinese communist money. The McConnells, yeah. How close are we to China? You need look no further than Hunter Biden's laptop. But no, the news won't touch that. The news will not report on that, but we will. We will. More damning evidence came out this week. Do you think anybody heard about it? No. Nope. Is anybody hearing about any of the other stuff? No. You know what they are hearing from CBS? Take CBS. What are they hearing? Michelle Obama. There you go. Yeah, Michelle Obama's being oppressed. There's the news. Nothing else going on. Nope, nothing at the border. Hunter Biden, I'd never heard of any laptop. Oh, but poor Michelle Obama. She's worried about her daughters and she's oppressed. Here's what these generals or these flag officers said in the letter. Called the Chinese Communist Party the greatest external threat to America, advocating for more sanctions and restrictions to impede their world domination goal and protect America's interests. They never had to say anything close to this during the Trump administration, because Donald Trump had the military's back, and they knew it. Now, they are being told to stand down because of racism. They're being told they need to recruit more transgenders by giving them free gender reassignment surgery just because we want to be inclusive. I mean, How many times in one day do we have to be inclusive on everything, whether it's at a high school where the top 10 students are they tried to replace them with the Latin honors so more people could get honors. And now, well, we've got to look, more transgenders. We need more transgenders in the military. So tell you what, we'll cough up $200,000 for gender reassignment surgery, and that should bring him in. And yeah, I bet it will. Who cares? Who the hell cares? Joe Biden and the virtue signaling left. They are the only ones who care. They care not about our national security. They care not about the American people. All they care about is power. And this is a means to an end. China's part of the grand plan. Remember China, the Uyghur Muslims? You remember the Uyghur Muslims? They're in concentration camps, re-education camps. There is reported genocide going on, women being sterilized. Women, Uyghur Muslim women being sterilized without consent, being beaten and tortured. What's Joe say? Well, it's just cultural differences. Well, I thought we were against that. It doesn't matter who did. I thought we were against that. No. When did you hear? When did I say we were against it? Hunter Biden's getting a paycheck from them. I'm not going to cost him money. The letter also argues the military should not be used as political pawns to protect the Capitol against non-existent threats. Also voiced opposition to the spread of critical race theory. We must support our military and vets, focus on war fighting, eliminate the corrosive infusion of political correctness into our military, which damages morale and war fighting cohesion. Well, I'll be damned. I couldn't have said that better. I would have said all of it. I would have said all of what those flag officers said in that letter. The same thing. I've been saying it for months. Same thing. Maybe they'll listen to these guys. Probably not. No, we don't make people feel bad. We made a promise. America's in trouble. They said, we have not been in peril like this since our founding in 1776, the year the Declaration of Independence was signed. Oh, there you go. Common sense, reason, objectivity. From real leaders, real brave people. Not 50-year partisan hacks who lied about their education, lie about your accomplishments, and now you're in office lying if you can even remember what you're supposed to say. Maybe you're not lying. Maybe you're just saying what you think is right because you can't think anymore. Joe Biden. Yeah, we're in trouble. And when you hear the military, retired military men putting it like that, wow. No, just wow. And I love they called out critical race theory. I want you to hear something about critical race theory. Now I'm going to play something I played for you before, but I've got something new here. I want you got to hear this. This is so good. And this is part of our Black Voices Matter series. Because Black voices matter. Objective Black voices matter. These are not activists. These are people who think. Critical thinking, baby. I don't care what color you are. If you don't have critical thinking, if you don't have objectivity, if you don't have focus, then I don't care what you have to say. I don't even want to hear it, frankly. Don't even want to hear your side. Because it's all just rage and hate. And it's painting with that broad brush. The left loves to paint, oh, white people are born in white. So, what did you say? Yes, all white people are born, and they're born with white supremacy. America needs to apologize for its worship of whiteness. Raphael Warnock, new communist senator from Georgia, said that on the pulpit. He's a minister. He's a man of God. Yeah, right. So, critical race theory. Here it is. Okay, this is something. You remember several weeks ago, I introduced critical race theory to you. I didn't know much about it before I started reading about it. My mind was blown. Again, painting with a broad brush. But it's all part of the means to an end. And academia is helping. Academia is helping get to the desired end. Totalitarianism, complete control. The left doesn't see it. We do. We need to wake them up. We need to warn them. We need to sound the alarms because they're going to be as saddened by it when it takes over as we are. The only reason they aren't fighting it is because they are drinking the Kool-Aid. They think it's great. Everything feels good. It looks good. If it looks good and feels good and it makes me warm inside, then let's go for it. Let's rage. Let's rage on, brothers and sisters. Not so fast. There was a great example of critical race theory on Zoom, and this actually came out of a Virginia high school. And I'm going to play this for you again. I never get sick of hearing this, by the way, but the follow-up is really what you've got to hear because it's a response to this video and the teaching of critical race theory in Virginia schools. Now, the two women that were pictured in the video where the kid and the teacher are interacting, which is what you're going to hear. It turns out they're actually mixed race twins. There's a black woman and a white woman standing back to back. They're sisters. I didn't know that. They're twins. And they're beautiful women, and they're different colors, different races, and they're just standing there. They aren't angry or anything. They're just standing there looking back to back, just la-di-da, just looking, having their picture taken. So listen to this teacher force this black kid. The teacher's white. The kid is black. Nothing more dangerous than a Black Lives Matter crusading lily white guy. And this teacher, boy, he fits the bill. So this teacher forces the kid who is trying to be colorblind like everybody should be. He forces this kid into seeing the race difference in the photo. And then at the end, listen, as the kid schools the racist liberal instructor. Here it is again. This was in Virginia.
The story behind this picture, I'd rather hold on to that. Just tell me what this seems to be a picture of.
This is a teacher talking. Now the kid.
It's just two people chilling.
That's all it is.
Right, just two people. That's nothing more to this picture?
Nah, not really. Just two people chilling.
I don't believe that you believe that. I don't believe that you look at this as just two people.
This is critical race theory.
It truly is just two people, though, is it not?
But I think you're being intentionally coy about what this is a picture of.
What would I be being coy about? It's two people standing back to back in a picture.
The kid is so much smarter than the teacher.
That's all you see is two people.
That's all you see.
I'm confused on what you would like me to speak on.
I don't know why you do this. I'm not trying to call you out, but you come out off of mute to talk about what this is a picture of, and you act as if there's nothing noticeable about this apart from the fact that they're two people.
Well, I'm confused. Are you trying to get me to say that there are two different races in this picture?
Yes,
Is that what you want me to say? Well, at the end of the day, wouldn't that just be feeding into the problem of looking at race instead of just acknowledging them as two normal people?
No, it's not, because you can't not look at you can't look at the people and not acknowledge that there are racial differences.
What a moron! Teacher's a moron.
But if we're going for, let's say, if we're looking for equality within all this, then why would we need to point out things such as that?
Oh, that kid!
Because those differences are real things.
The real thing.
You can't.
I love the kid is so much smarter than the instructor. Give the kid an award. Put him in the top 10 of the class just for that statement alone. Love this kid. The teacher's a dork. The teacher shouldn't be in education, but this is what they're being asked to teach. That is critical race theory. And it's starting as young as 4 years old. There was a rally in New Hampshire a few weeks ago. And critical race theory is being taught to kids as young as 4 years old. They're teaching your youngster how to be racist. Curriculum. Means to an end. Driving the wedge. They fuel the hatred. The gloves are off on their side. They're not transparent anymore. They don't care. They do not care. Get it out there in the open. Now listen. There is an outcry from parents in Loudoun County, Virginia, to end this stupidity that is, and I said stupidity to the 10th power, to the 20th, to the 100th power. Stupidity. It's dumbing down kids and making them hate. Teaching kids to hate. Oh, isn't that great? That's the goal of public education. Reading, writing, no, we'll teach them to hate others first. So listen to this black woman in Loudoun County, which is, I believe, where this school was. Here's a black woman speaking at a school board meeting in Loudoun County, Virginia, on this very topic.
In the words of Martin Luther King Jr., I have a dream that my 4 little children will one day live in a nation where they will not be judged by the color of their skin, but by the content of their character. Now I have a dream that we will implement love, not hate, or supporting another Jim Crow's agenda. CRT is not an honest dialogue. It is a tactic that was used by Hitler and the Ku Klux Klan on slavery very many years ago to dumb down my ancestors. So we could not think for ourselves. CRT is racist. It is abusive. It discriminates against one's color. Let me educate you. An honest dialogue does not oppress. An honest dialogue does not implement hatred or injustice. It's to communicate without deceiving people. Today, we don't need your agreement. We want action and a backbone for what we asked for today, to ban CRT. We don't want your political advertisement to divide our children or belittle them. Think twice before you indoctrinate such racist theories. You cannot tell me what is or is not racist. Look at me. I had to come down here today to tell you to your face that we are coming together and we are strong. This will not be the last. Greet and meet respectfully.
Oh, these people are so good. People, just regular people. When you get them fired up, man, they become such great ambassadors for freedom, for truth, for America. That was apparent. She was so good. She said it. Every morsel of what she said is truth. Hitler used it. Where are we right now? Look where we are right now. Look how fast we are getting there right now. Critical race theory, open borders. We have the Middle East is now on fire suddenly now that Trump's out. China is building their military and showing it off, threatening Taipei. Why is that? Why did none of this happen during the Trump? Could it be that Donald Trump was an effective leader of a superpower country? Oh, yeah. Our infrastructure is going away. That's right. We're getting rid of all fossil fuels, which will send us back to being a third world country in just a matter of 10 or 15 years in Joe Biden's vision. Superpower no more. China is going to rule the world if we don't take America back. Sad and scary, but true. Truth. You'll get the truth here. You'll get the truth here. I'll see you tomorrow morning. Mike Violette back here bright and early tomorrow morning at 6. I'll be back at 9 with Freedom's Pep Rally. Have a great afternoon.
Legacy 1160, WSKW.
Our mattress now has Sleep to Win smart beds. They're American-made and adjustable from head to toe to meet your individual sleeping needs. One night's sleep and you'll realize that Sleep to Win smart beds are more comfortable than ones that cost much more. Box Drop Mattress in Winslow and Newport. Schedule an appointment at boxdropwinslow.com today.
Cool's Plumbing, Heating, and Air Conditioning in Waterville has been providing Central Maine contractors, homeowners, and businesses with fast, friendly, reliable, and economical service for 80 years. It's time to think about air conditioning systems, humidifiers, and air filtration units. Don't be caught this summer with an air conditioning system that can't handle your needs. Call Cool's Plumbing, Heating, and Air Conditioning at 872-6762 and talk to Jeff Pellerin about the Mitsubishi Mr. Slim ductless air conditioning system that's designed to cool in the summer months and add additional heat in the winter months. For plumbing supplies, bathroom fixtures, toilets, sinks, faucets, vanities, tubs, showers, and lighting fixtures, visit their showroom at 19 North Street in Waterville. And don't forget, when you need emergency service, call Hool's 24-hour service department, 872-6762. Visit Hool's Plumbing, Heating, and Air Conditioning online at hoolsphac.com. Hool's, serving the community for 80 years.
From the Home Auto Group Studios, Farmington Ford and Franklin Chrysler in Farmington. This is WSKW, Skowhegan, Augusta, Waterville, Legacy 1160.
Listen, we're off the radio now. So this is just a video thing, just us. If you have, by all means, thank you to the people who are sending things to my private messenger. If you want to, if there's anything you think we ought to discuss, or you find anything that you think we ought to be talking about, I don't guarantee I will get, but I get a lot of stuff, frankly, from people who send me stuff. So you can either Facebook message me, or you can go ahead and send it to mail, like MAIL, mail at thevoiceguy.net, and I will get it, and I would appreciate it. All right, that's it. Thank you very much. I will talk to you tomorrow. Be well, and if you got sunshine, enjoy the sunshine. We got clouds right now, but it looks pretty nice out. So I'm going to go enjoy it.